less than 70 hours. So prayers are ongoing for them
so that the search and rescue team will be able to spot them and maybe get them alive. South Korea crypto crash. Kim Do Kwon has been jailed. The collapse of the Terra USD stablecoin and the associated Luna token rock cryptocurrency market. And the suspects in Greece boat disaster plead not guilty. 9 men have appeared in court in connection with the last week's migrant boat disaster in Greece. And US and China pledge to stabilize tense relationship. We hope that happens. And here in the UK, father and son, a UK billionaire among missing, an adventurer and a British businessman traveling with his son are among those on the Titanic sub. Yesterday evening, MPs overwhelmingly backed Johnson's Partygate report. Only 7 MPs voted against the report. I'm going to be telling you more about that. This and a lot more going to be coming your way from Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We take a commercial break and we come back. I bring you some tune and then we get ourselves ready for Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI, who will be joining in to bring you all the updates from Nigeria in detail.
Hi, I'm Ada Williams and I'm an NHS pharmacist. Don't get caught out by COVID this summer. If you have only had one COVID-19 vaccination or haven't had one at all, you can still get your free vaccine until the 30th of June. Book your vaccine through the NHS app, online at nhs.uk.
Navy blue check. Jakama. 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 That's Igbo. That's Igbo. Igbo. I'm getting like confused. The love is too much. 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 Jakama. Jakama. Let's go. For the island of black. Navy blue check. Jakama. 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 That's Igbo. That's Igbo. Igbo. I'm getting like confused. The love is too much. 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 Jakama. Jakama. Let's go. For the island of black. Navy blue check. Jakama. 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 That's Igbo. That's Igbo. Igbo. I'm getting like confused. The love is too much. 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 Jakama. Jakama. Let's go. For the island of black. Navy blue check. Jakama. 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 That's Igbo. That's Igbo. Igbo. I'm getting like confused. The love is too much. 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 Jakama. Jakama. Let's go. For the island of black. Navy blue check. Jakama. 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 Jakama.
Ọmọ Ìbàràpá lápapọ̀ ẹ̀yà dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àyànmọ́. Ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀ tìlé tó kó ẹ̀mí àbọ̀ ẹ̀bá ń kọ́mọ Adéyẹmọ. Ṣífọ́ndé Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho orúkọ ńlá tí ń jámọ̀ láyà bí àrá orúkọ tó ń dẹ̀rù bo lórúkọ gan. Ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ má sọ torí pé bùrà a kò lè fojú gbégbodò láyé títa ríro lẹ̀dá kọlà wúrà tó máa dán alànà kọjá dandan o. Ọ̀wọ́n ẹni ní má bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ̀nà ẹ̀dá kan lè ṣe wà lọ́nà mọ́ ẹ̀rí àtìmọ̀ṣọ̀kan ká lè débi re. ẹ̀jẹ̀ àjọ gbárùkù ti Sunday Ìgbòho ṣá ọmọ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ nílùú alágbàdo òde ọmọ atapẹ̀tẹ̀ wọnú omi ọmọ tètèrè wodò sànyà ìsànyà òrẹ́rẹ́ bàbá yín láàrin ìdí omi kò sí náà kán sí yín lẹ́nu ọmọ òkúta mẹ́ta òkè pò ìkan ṣe yín ní dábọ̀dàbọ̀ ìkan ní mọ́ rọra ìkan tó kù nígbà tí wọ́n mọ̀ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ kí ló dé Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ sí ọmọ òpópó sàn ìgbàgede Ìgbòho sùn wọn lálàìsí bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ní kó ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó máa kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ ẹ̀sìn òní bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ kẹ́sì bá bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho á fi kan pọpọ sí amúkan yòókù bọ̀ sànyà àtúmúyà rẹ̀ tí ò lọ́rọ̀ gbọ́ á fi ṣẹ̀rù wálé wàrà mùjẹ́ ọmọ onílé ọ̀la àwọn àjòjì tó ń ṣe ṣèṣe tọ́láwọn òní bomi kó sí mu wọ́n láwọn òní bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀ ìgbàlódé kò fi rí kọ́ gbogbo wọn náà sáré bomi kó sí mu wọ́n sì bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀ ọmọ abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde ayé ọ̀kan ṣẹ́ ọ̀kan tẹ̀ ọ̀kan tó kù ní gbogbo ayé tí ń ránṣọ kiri gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá Sunday Ìgbòho onírèlẹ̀ láéláé torí àbálọ́sán nìkan dá òkúta òṣègbè fún wọn o ìmọ̀ràn lásán ni ti balùwẹ̀ ó bọ́ sí gbogbo dòdò láyé bí ó kún díẹ̀ tí tọ́ domi láéláé tọ́ nílé domi Sunday Ìgbòho arógun má ti rí tó jà fẹ́tọ̀ Yorùbá ní tilé tó kó.
Koikimedia, we're bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Wetin we carry for am? I said they never know wetin we carry for body. Ọ̀kìn lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ ìléwú lóró lájú. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa. Kájùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè tó dúdú àga. Ọmọ Odùduwà ṣe kiri. Ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀tọ́ adúláwọ̀. Ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé. Délẹ̀ ilé rí. Àwa lè gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé. Ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni mọ̀lẹ́ tí ó tàn káàkiri. Koikimedia, àwa là ń gbétò lárugẹ. Àṣà ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wà kájẹ́ gbígbá yín jẹ. À ń gbétò lárugẹ, à ń gbàṣà lárugẹ. News and sports ẹ máa rí gbọ́. Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ ni lóní kí n máa ké tẹ̀sán. Koikimedia ọ̀rọ̀ lágbàjúmọ̀ mi máa bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ. Ọmọ Yorùbá yẹn ọmọ Yorùbá tata. Àgbàdo rẹ̀ ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi ṣẹ́yìn lọ́ máa fi dìbò tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa ń dè mádé. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀. Igbó máa wọ̀ gbàjọ́jì ògbọ́ lọ́wọ́. Àjèjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ àtẹ̀lẹ̀ ní ẹ̀bọ̀ra. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ náwó kóyìnbó tó dé. Ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o, owó náà dẹ́kun pọ̀ sí o. Koikimedia sáwà ní bàbá. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àdáńtọ́ àtúnpèrè nìdí ni. àwa là ń gbé tò lárugẹ jẹ́ ká jọgbọ́ o. àkúnjà fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. ọmọ Òdùwà ni wá o tọkàntọkàn. ikú tó ṣe bí lébè òsì àdìmú bàbá yìí.
Away, but as it's been announced, if you are in the UK, the NHS is still providing the first or second vaccine. First and second jabs of the vaccine. So if you have not taken yours, you got up to the 30th of June to do so. So we want to encourage you to make sure that you take advantage of that. Okay, but it's all coming your way from Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me say good morning to Auntie V, Mrs. Veronica Dapa, all the way in Ghana, watching us live as well. We hope that you are doing very, very, very well. But it is my singular honor once again to bring to you updates from Nigeria with my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI, who has joined us this morning. And let me say, Yomi, massive good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our viewers and listeners from around the world, and welcome once again to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London as we take you through, the good news and the turbulence one around the world. But for now, the focus point is Nigeria. But I say it's a very beautiful weather. I've been out already. I've just, can say that it was heavily raining on my way out this morning, but we're back, as we always say, with the British tea, which settle, the scores. How are you doing yourself, Mr. Archie?
Oh, by the grace, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. At least there was a bit of rain, so it gave us a bit of nice weather there, Yeah, it wasn't too humid as it's been of late. But listeners, it is Star Radio UK, and that is Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI for you, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. But let's move on straight on. Let me read some of the comments that have come through from Bishop Adesina. He's also sharing with us. If you go look behind Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI, he's got some images behind him that are the various appointments that the president has made. My bishop says that the controller General of Customs, Adeneyi Bashir Adewale, is from Osun State. And then we have Chief of Staff to Nigeria Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Hassan Bala Abubakar from Kano State. And then we have Chief of Staff to Nigerian Army, Major General Tarid Alagbaja, who is from Osun State. Wow. So Yomi is going to tell us more about that. Now, during Buhari's regime, we talked about the fact that people thought that there wasn't, equal opportunities for everybody in those security agencies. Okay, so but now we seem to see some sort of representation from every walk of life. So I asked myself the question: what is Tinubu going to do that is going to make Nigeria look better than it's been? And people now think that now we have to have a U-turn or have a rethink about it. Do you think that his appointment is making any big waves and actually making people now have the sympathy for him or now growing to love him? Yomi.
Thank you so much, Mr. Archie. Once again, a very good morning to Frank and the rest of the team as well. First and foremost, the president is traveling out of Nigeria, we believe today, to France for a summit. So from my look of things, I think, the president was not going to be leaving the house with the old guard. And I'm sure you know what that means. Because Nigeria is a very funny place, and he might end up becoming an asylum seeker himself, because it has happened before during, the former military dictator, Murtala Mohammed, and, when some of them traveled and eventually they couldn't come back to Nigeria because there was a coup d'etat. But one thing we can say is, the reaction when the news came out was like a bombshell that we have been waiting for. But it's just that, we didn't know exactly when that bombshell was going to be landing. Everybody knew that at some point, Tinubu will remove all the service chiefs that were there prior to coming to office on the 29th day of May to the new ones. Let's first talk about the reaction. The reaction has traveled around the world swiftly when the news break just before 1900 hours yesterday. It seems that, Tinubu is used to, bringing these news out, when everybody is probably preparing for dinner, and how that dinner become, tasteful, then end up to be the conversation. But let me first take you through what has been the reaction from Nigerians, in terms of the chief of staff that we now have, under, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I'm going to be giving you those reactions. Reno Omokere is a full-time supporter of Atiku as the PDP. He even campaigned against Tinubu in London here when Tinubu visited Chatham House. This is his reaction. The statement by some that the new chief of naval staff, Rear Admiral Emmanuel Ikechukwu Ogala, is not from Igbo-speaking part of Enugu State may have been misunderstood. Yes, it is unnecessary, but I don't think they meant ill. Give such person the benefit of doubt. Our constitution recognizes states, not tribes or ethnic nationalities. And even within the state, our geopolitical zone, we should not discriminate to that extent. In fact, if these people have not raised awareness, very few will knew there were even non-Igbos in Enugu. That is how invisible those groups were due to marginalization. I don't know if it is right to cry out about marginalization outside, while inside there is marginalization to the point of making some groups feel non-existent. Rear Admiral Ogala is from Enugu, period. Full stop. And that is enough for Nigeria. That is from Reno. Now, let's take a look at some of the other reactions that have dropped before coming back to you. Let's look at the newly appointed Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Christopher Musa, hails from Zango Kafa in Kaduna State, but was born in Sokoto. Does that mean anything? You could be born in Sokoto, but from Kaduna State. Let us be in the reaction. Somebody went to give us a breakdown of that particular local government. Zango Kafa is a local government area in southern Kaduna State, Nigeria. Its headquarters is in the town of Zonkwa. It is also named of a town in the chiefdom of Ayata. Other towns include Baton, Claton, Kamatan. So you can see that morning, and he says from southern Kaduna, very nice. This is coming from Tosi Adade. Let's take a look at more reaction as well. This one says he's from Kaduna State, stroke Zango Kafa, but born in Kano. Is that the new way of introducing a Nigerian? Let me come back to you, Archie. You can tell Nigerians are still dissecting, looking into where everyone has come from. But so far, it seems Tinubu has been able to put things in a way as against the nepotism that Buhari played. Buhari told us point blank, he will work with only those of his clan. Who are those clan? The Fulanese.
Wow, listeners, Star Radio UK. Some of the appointment of some of the new service chiefs that we're talking about this morning. So wherever you are, just stay glued to yourself. Don't you go away, because there are interesting reactions coming from various quarters, and we're going to make sure that we bring them all your way. But looking at the representation as to whether somebody hails like because the person was born there, not necessarily like somebody say, okay, I was born in Ghana. The fact that I live here, if they said they are appointing me as a something in Ghana, or you said, oh, because he's a British man, so he's not. No. So far as he some way somehow hails from that place, that's what should be. But look at the tribal sentiment that seems to be going on. Do you think Tinubu, when it comes to ministerial appointment, will also be going along those lines, the same lines again? Hello, Yami. Hello, Yami.
Yeah, it's just the technology playing around there.
Yeah.
I think the question Nigerians are looking at now is that has this been fair in terms of balancing, the situation room in Nigeria? Remember, Nigeria, is divided along ethnic line. We saw that played out during the 2023 election, and we're going to be talking about the election tribunal, at some point, in the course of the program this morning at 17 minutes past. But when we go back to, who is who, the competent is what Nigerians are expecting.
That's right.
Whether you are from Kano, are you going to play the competent role? Nigerians have been saying, especially the Yorubas, that we've never had anyone as a Inspector General of Police. Is he competent? That is the question. And the question is, if he's competent, do we manage him as a Yoruba man controlling the Inspector General of Police? We've talked about the Apapa Port. He's a Yoruba man that is now in there. Would he allow, the port to run the operation where we know that the majority of those that are bringing goods in might not even be the Yorubas, but is he going to be balanced? These are the competent that Nigerians are asking for, but also we know that marginalization has always been part of us. But like I said, below the newly appointed Chief of Army Staff, Major General Tyree Abiodun Lagbaja from Ibolu, Osun State, and the Controller General of Custom, DCG Bashal Adewale Adeni from Modakeke in Osun State. Congratulations to us all in Osun State, according to Duke of Osun. The most important thing is, if they are competent, the question then is, whatever state they're from does not matter. And the two individuals that we just mentioned now are the most also a very key area when it comes to Nigeria. Ports, we know, drives in the biggest area in importing and exporting. Apart from that, we don't want any ship docking. Well, there's no more subsidy, but at some point, the previous controller knew the ship that were docking that went back to Cameroon and Ghana. It's very, very important. Remember, Buratai is the former Chief of Defense Staff. We hope that Tinubu will call him back, because under his leadership, he failed the Nigerian military men and women by not providing everything that they requested. We saw the breakdown of military vehicles, the military weapons were jamming, and the attacks of intelligence that end up killing as many of our armed forces. The Major General Tawhid, the Chief of Army Staff, has a big role that has now started, and that role is something that Nigerians will be looking up to, not particularly his state from Osun State.
Okay, listeners, it is STARR Radio UK. Interesting developments from Nigeria, but wherever you are, don't touch that down. We're still going to be probing more into it. My Bishop, thank you very much for all the postings that you're putting there. Nigeria Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Christopher Gwabin Musa from Kaduna State. A fair representation. What do you think? Post your comments there, and we're going to be reading that as well. But let's move on to some story that I touched on briefly before you came on. That pertains to some saying that Tinubu should not appoint. Northern Group advises Tinubu against appointing Badaru and others failed governors. But there was one that was talking about, their dislike for Tinubu appointing Northerners. Have you had any information pertaining to that as well, Yomi?
Well, there's no way, Tinubu, he didn't get to that position himself. It is collection of different people, even opposition party like Wike campaign against, Atiku, which Atiku has responded from what we were saying yesterday, that it is the excessive alcohol that damage your internal organ, not poison. Atiku Abubakar replied, Wike, that's a different conversation entirely. But I saw that Tinubu is just trying to balance the situation, so that it doesn't feel like he's going to put everyone from his own clan in there as against what Buhari did. But for now, there will be different reaction, and it's going to take some time before, this reaction will continue to fade away. Buhari is trending, so it seems that people are saying even that congratulations to Tinubu for putting this quickly as against what Buhari did. Service chief is trending this morning at about 35,000 tweets. And like I said, since yesterday, let me say what, Simon Ekpa, the government and extra prime minister of the Biafra, I have observed how ignorant Nigerians are reacting to the appointment of the new service chiefs. I laugh. What magic will the new service chief do? Question mark. Will they remove Shetima as the vice president? Question mark. Will it change the Islamic State agenda, which is the reason for the insecurity and terrorism all over Nigeria? Question mark. Will they abolish the 1989 Abuja Declaration? Question mark. The answer to the above question is no. It doesn't change anything. Then I read that he appointed someone from Enugu State as the chief of naval staff. I laugh. Chief of naval staff has always come from the south. Will the new service chief stop Biafra from exiting Nigeria? Question mark. Will they abolish the 1999 constitution that every one of them will be governed under, because the constitution is a military diktat? A lot of senior advocates of Nigeria have said so, and so many people disagree with that constitution. Will they abolish the faulty amalgamation of Nigeria? Question mark. Will they recover the ancestral land that were invaded by the Fulanis across Nigeria? Question mark. These are the fundamental issues that bring about the dangerous and destructive diversity that are propelling the Biafra liberation, and we push it to a conclusive end of independence. Biafra liberation is on top gear. Our goal is to make sure nothing works in Nigeria until Biafra exits.
Okay, listeners, it is STARR Radio UK 11:23. The time, the Tuesday edition, updates from Nigeria with Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and we are bringing you what you need to know. But let your comments come through. Now, let's come to the INEC. Now, the president has dissolved some of the boards of some parastatals institutions and government-owned companies, but fall short of changing that of INEC. Now, some people are reading into it saying that, well, it's because they think that, well, INEC is supposed to be giving evidence and they are the ones who actually authenticated his victory. So if he does anything, then that might come back to come and bite him, because if they say, okay, he didn't win or anything, that will come back to bite him. But we have here Election Tribunal, INEC refusing to provide documents Peter Obi and LP are alleging. Yomi.
Well, the current situation with the tribunal is still moving back to back. APM insists on prosecuting case against Tinubu, APC and INEC. Election Tribunal, INEC are refusing to provide document Peter Obi alleged. The tribunal then cautioned the council to Labour Party and INEC to cooperate more instead of lamenting and wasting the time of the court, because the court doesn't have that time. The Presidential Election Petition Court on Monday heard that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has so far failed to provide document needed by Peter Obi and the Labour Party to prosecute the petition before the tribunal. Could that be could that be for a reason? Or could it just be that INEC is still trying to, phantom around how these documents would have impact or against or for? We don't know yet. But all at the continuation of the hearing yesterday, the petitioner presented their witness, Clarat Oga, for examination in chief, and later informed the court about INEC refusal to release those documents. The counsel of the petition, J.S. Okutape, told the court that they have consistently begged INEC written letters, tried pursuing them, but to all no avail, and they have decided to call on the Lordship to intervene. But what is the Lordship going to do? A.B. Mohammed, the lead counsel of INEC, told the court that he is surprised with Okuta outburst, having earlier assured the petition-led counsel, Livy Ozugwa, of their readiness to cooperate. He insisted that the release of document will only be delayed if counsel fail to follow due process and should not blame INEC for such. So it seems that there is now back-to-back going on between Labour Party, that is from the Labour Party, but let's look from the Buhari legacy on the election and lesson for President Tinubu. Also, Tinubu INEC kick as the Amazon staff testified in Labour Obi petition. Atiku Obi accused INEC of denying him access to electoral document. So it seems that both of them are not getting the document that they need to continue the persecution of their case at the election tribunal. Star Radio UK, it is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because I bet people will be asking the question, is it because they are defending his victory, that's why they are doing, that's why he decided to spare them from dissolving the board and changing maybe the head of INEC and stuff like that? But, well, what does the Constitution say about INEC, and at what time do you change them? Is it that maybe they have to serve their full tenure, maybe 5 years or whatever the appointment is, and then after that you can change? Or if any president comes in, they say down, today I've had a mala, come on, let's change, and then they change. We're not sure about what is happening there, but it's all coming your way from Star Radio UK. Well, excessive alcohol damage your internal organs, not poisoning. Atiku Abubakar replies ex-governor Nyesom Wike. Now, Nyesom Wike was of the view that, well, he was poisoned. He was poisoned at the PDP, whether their headquarters or something. But we have the PDP, Atiku, saying that, well, it's not a poison, but he had. So is it that Wike is somebody who drinks a lot? Is that what is happening there?
Well, since these have been birds of the same feathers that knows each other until trailer, they say, went through both of them, and it seems Atiku disagree with the view that Wike, that was doing his Thanksgiving, projected that he was poisoned. But why Atiku is responding to that, I don't know. But it seems that maybe Atiku is just trying to clear the air that Wike is an excessive alcohol drinker, and there's no need for Wike to be coming out to say that it was poison.
So it could be alcohol poison. I mean, just looking at it, because I know that there is alcohol poison. Some people talk about that. Unfortunately, or good fortunately, I've not experienced anything of the sort before. So, all right then. So Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Still moving on to some other stories making the rounds. Yomi, let me come to you.
Well, the Naira continued to weaken as today it is 770 Naira to a dollar. Yesterday, the pounds is still moving very fast against the Naira. The Naira yesterday was 980 Naira to 1 pound. And that literally means that if you send 100 pounds after the commission, you're still having a huge, substantial amount of money. Whether those money will be, enough to survive an average Nigeria is a different thing entirely. But the question is, how is Bola Tinubu, the president, going to, rectify, some of these complaints regarding the Naira issue that we've talked about, so many times on this platform? Emefiele is still being held, pinned down. We know what happened to, the change of the Naira, which is why Tinubu believes that Emefiele should answer some questions. Buhari have said it clearly that nobody should call him back, to answer for any, question around what has happened. But it seems that Emefiele head will be used, to break the coconut, as they will say in our own language. So as we speak right now, the Naira slumped further to the dollar after closing at 717 Naira to the dollar at the end of the trading on the investor and the exporter forex window. This is just within the banking environment. If you're going to the black market, you're going to be paying about 800 and 850 to a dollar. So according to the figure that was obtained by the FMDQ yesterday, the trading rate had closed at $686.96 on Friday, but it has increased again. Trading open at $703 to $50, but at the high at the high of 799 before closing at about 770. The importer and exporter forex window recorded a turnover of $78.3 million as the close of trading. That means that people that need those dollars, will be able to buy it. That is what that probably means. But the central bank last week directed the deposit money banks to remove the rate cap on the Naira at the investor and the exporter window to allow a free float of the national currency against the dollar at the global currency. So that is coming, on the Star Radio, and then we come back again, to some of the other news that we have as well before we go into the social media. Governor Aliyu disguised ride tricycle to inspect Sokoto debt. It seems maybe that is a good one to start with, so that there will be good cleanliness. Governor Ahmed Aliyu has disguised himself and visited the Sokoto Specialist Hospital to ascertain the quality of services provided to residents. The governor press secretary Abubakar Bawa said this in a statement. I don't know how those that he met along the hospital, not knowing that he's the governor, I hope they've done very well. I hope that they didn't do what they have been doing when an average citizen goes into those general hospitals and shouting at them and also doing things that they are not meant to do, because nobody would have known that that is the governor. And that is the governor right there that ride in that tricycle without any convoy with him as well. According to the statement, the governor's decision to visit the facility unannounced followed a series of concerns raised by the Sokoto resident over poor delivery. The statement added that other concerns that forced the governor to visit the hospital were dilapidated structures, erect power supply, shortage of staff, lack of functional medical equipment, and many others. The question then is, what was those previous governors doing for 8 years? These are the questions. Gunmen kidnap a Kogi ruler and the wife is the next headline coming on the Star Radio this morning. Gunmen on Monday, yesterday, kidnapped Oba of Idofin and his wife in Yagba East local government area of the state, according to the news. The ruler, Shadrach Durojaye Obibeni, and his wife were reportedly kidnapped along Makutu Idofin Road, not a very late hour, at about 1700 hours, which is 5 p.m. local time in Nigeria. Abdurrasak Asiru Yagba, East Council Chair, confirmed the adoption and described it as very shocking and sad. Also, those in Isenyi have been calling out Dr. Chief Sunday IGBOHO to come and rescue them because of the kidnapping that has now taken control of the state. But the question then is, what is the role of the Chief of Staff to the state, which is the governor, Seyi Makinde? So it seems that the new security chiefs have a lot to do, especially the Chief of Army Staff, to make sure that security is a top notch. I'm going to take one more from the news, then head straight to the social media. Let's take one, which we're going to be doing. So we're going to take one of the profile of the new Chief of Staff that we have as we speak today. The new Chief of Air Staff, AVM Abubakar. Who is he? And let's take a little bit about his profile, but tomorrow we'll be talking about all these individuals. Is it competency, or is it about the clan, your nationality? How do you bring in the right people into a country with over 250 ethnic groups? Can it be balanced? These are all the questions we'll be discussing tomorrow on the Niger Voices. We will also have a special guest that will be telling us about the agriculture project on the Yoruba Nation continuity. So let's go back quickly because of the time constraint. Air Vice Marshal Hassan Abubakar was appointed as the 22nd Chief of Air Staff by President Bola Tinubu yesterday. According to his profile that was released by the Nigerian Air Force Headquarters, Mr. Abubakar was born on September 11, 1970. Hails from Shanono local government area in Kano. He was enlisted into the Nigerian Air Force as a Nigerian Defense Academy Regular Course 39 member, was commissioned pilot officer on the September 19, 1992. Mr. Abubakar has attended several courses, basic flying training courses at the then 301 Flying Training School, Kaduna, and the basic advanced airborne courses at the Nigerian Army Infantry Center and School in Jaji. He also attended Company Amphibious Operation course, and that went on and on. Previous appointment held by the new CAS include Officer Command B Squadron 81, Air Maritime Group, NFA, Bini, Team Leader, Bilabo Team, Site 615, Ituru Brigade, United Nations Organization Mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Aviation Planning Officer, Munich Air Operation, Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo. He was also a Commander Officer, Base Service Wing 81, Air Maritime Group, Bini, and later served at the different times at the 88th Military Air Lift Group, Ikeja, where he held various appointments, including Operation Officer, Operational Conversion Unit, Operational Officer, Commanding Officer 21 Wing, Group Safety Officer. He was a Fleet Operation Officer of the 011 Presidential Air Fleet. After that, Commandant of the unit. His other appointments include Chief of Staff, Mobility Command, Yenogwa, Air Force Commander, Logistic Command, Ikeja, Director of Policy and Director. So you can see that it seems that maybe it's the competent, or maybe it's just to satisfy the other ethnic group, and that's the reason why Bola Tinubu, the president, have included him as the new Chief of Army Staff. The AVM. Chief of Air Staff rather. So now let's go straight to the social media. Southern Kaduna is trending. I don't know why Buratai is trending. Maybe we might have a bit of reason for that, because we know Buratai was the former Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Defense Staff rather. Not too much coming from that. I can't say anything that links to why it's trending. Like Buratai appointment, according to the mainstream media in Nigeria, the Chief of Staff during the heat of the Boko Haram insurgency in the Northeast, Major General Christopher Musa, will appeal to his people to look at the situation in Southern Kaduna critically. So that is coming, this morning on that. But apart from that, it seems that Buhari, the service chiefs, are much of trending, and Inspector General of Police, we'll be talking about all those breakdown, but we've talked about one today. But like I say, the new Inspector General of Police is coming from the Southwest in the Yoruba, and it seems that the reaction continue on the social media around each of these new Inspector General of Police and the rest as well. But one thing is, Star Radio UK will be giving you all those breakdown tomorrow, most especially during the Niger Voices. And that question is, for those that are agitating, is it about the new future in Nigeria for 4 years of Bola Tinubu, or is it the future in a Yoruba country that you would also have these same individuals, but there will be more of their own sovereign nation, just as other countries? Also, Ida has received a Guinness World Record certificate for the longest cooking marathon. Congratulations to her. But it seems that challenges is already propelling. As the young girl in Ekiti says, the one I didn't tell Guinness Book of Record, but prepare for 150 hours food marathon. I've not heard anything about the one that is frying puff-puff in the Southeast. Maybe he's just frying it for the sake of frying it. But congratulations to the current winner, Hilda Bassi.
Well, I hope that it's all edible, it's not just cooking or frying. We can't eat it. It's not edible. No. We want something that when you eat, you cook for those hours. And when I sit down and eat, I say, This is a good food. That's the one we're talking about. But listen, STARR Radio UK, Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI in North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios. Let me read some of the comments that Bishop Adesina has put. He's talking about the forecast of the Naira. Now, we're talking about almost 800 on the black market. But he's saying that the forecast came earlier in May. By June to July, it will be 1,000 or 1,200 Naira to a dollar. That is the target point. So the economy can be stable for them to transact under the new economy regime. Now it goes on to say, otherwise, the fuel subsidy removal and hike in fuel prices excess can not only be sufficient to help them service their debt. Wow, that's a big one there. So, I mean, if you think that you have tightened your belt, he's telling you that, no, we've not gone far enough. You have to tighten it some more. But can Nigerians actually continue to sacrifice that? And then we see our leaders still living in that opulence, just going about, just doing whatever things that they are doing. The only one thing that is quite interesting is we are looking at the various groups, like Simon Ekpa was commenting and posing some questions there. And we are looking at the Yoruba group and then the Middle Belt and everybody. And we are asking ourselves, this representation that Bola Tinubu has brought on, let's say that it works. Let's say everybody is doing their work diligently. Let's say that they are delivering as they're supposed to. Do you think that will change the mind of those who think they have been marginalized and they need out of the country?
Well, I think, like you said, Bola Tinubu is trying his best to see how it can, propel the Titanic that has sunk. And we hope those that have been lost in the last few days or hours are found, even though I've talked about it this morning because it's a huge amount of money to pay £96,000 to try and see what is happening under the 12,000 feet ocean. Nigeria, for some individuals, is like a Titanic that is already under the seabed. Yeah. But they're trying to bring it back up. But the one that went in 1912, the original Titanic, that was founded in 1985. It took them years to even find the location. Yeah. So it might be years before we might understand the true picture of Nigeria. But as any president, they come in with their own different keys. And it seems that the key that Tinubu is using right now is trying to stabilize the ship. How far it can do so to make sure that there's unity among those that wants to agitate and cut out of Nigeria is a different question. I looked up to East Timor. East Timor declared independent in 1975. That led to the Indonesia invading that country for over 2 decades. But at some point, it was the new president of Indonesia that actually requested the United Nations for a referendum for the complete final, allowing the East Timorians to have their own independent sovereign nation. And that referendum took place between 1999. There was a transition government that went ahead. And on the 2002 May 20th, East Timorians celebrated their official independence. Would Tinubu go in that direction by allowing Nigeria to divide in a peaceful way, velvet divorce? Would he take it back to the regional government as some have asked? The Afenifere are saying that we won't want to be in Nigeria, but we want to restructure Nigeria, not the 1999 constitution that is called amendment. So these are the pictures that Nigerians that are asking for their right to self-determination are looking up to. But time will tell, with Bola Tinubu. He hasn't said anything yet. He's still trying to, bring the ship back to stability. Like I said, 96 hours is the time frame for those at the moment under the seabed. But Bola Tinubu has another less than 3.5 years to go. So there's still more time for him to decide the fate of Nigeria.
Okay, listeners, that's been quite an interesting one. And what is your take? What do you think? But like Yomi was saying, tomorrow we'll have the chance to be looking at all the service chiefs. And we'll be scrutinizing them one after the other, where they hail from, their track record. Do you expect something different from their predecessor, that they're going to do better than them? What do you think about all that? Just food for thought. And then we're coming tomorrow, and then we'll look at that on the morning show, and of course on the Niger Voices, where we have all the time to do. All right then. So Yomi, before you go.
Well, the weather as the sun is coming out a little bit much more better than the morning. So that means the traffic and the other news will be given to you in a few seconds and the right timing on the STARR Radio UK network. But for now, I'll be back again same time tomorrow. But stay tuned on to Star Radio UK, where we will continue to bring the news. Good morning to my mom. Good morning to all the other listeners on the sister broadcast. But for now, I'll leave you in the good hand of Archie for the next part of the program. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Have a lovely day. Okay, listeners, that has been Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI bringing you updates from Nigeria, from our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and we are bringing you the rest of the morning show.
Okay, let's welcome ourselves back to our own transmission. As we also know, this is when we switch things around. Those of you on the Instagram, I'm sure you're aware of that. I got to switch things around a little bit. So, but for now, I'm going to turn the camera off so that we can switch things around a little bit. That's if we want to continue with our own discussion. We have just come out of the Star Radio UK network. We are now moving into the Koikimedia network, which is where we discuss the Yoruba nation and other issues around, the agitation. We appreciate everyone that continue to stay behind. It is not easy, especially those of you in Nigeria, buying the data to listen to live transmission in a country that doesn't value, as many of you. It is not easy, but we can only be grateful for those that are with us. Every penny you're spending is to also get and gain knowledge, which is why we are saying Nigeria is like the Titanic that has failed every Nigerian. But as usual, president comes, president goes. Okay, there's a live transmission coming from one of our team. Let's connect quickly to that. Not too sure what that is all about. So let me quickly bring that in, because Koikimedia is live somewhere in the state. I believe that is Akure. So you can connect. Come on, miss it. So bear with us. Those of you, I think I can bring you in now a little bit here. So let me quickly get the soundtrack and let's hear what they're saying. Let's get the audio out.
Orílẹ̀-èdè tí ó dáa, orílẹ̀-èdè tó jẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè tí àwọn ìjọba tí wọ́n kíẹ̀ fún àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù, tí wọ́n kíẹ̀ fún àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù, tí wọ́n kíẹ̀ fún àwọn citizen ìlú yìí ni. Ẹni pé kò ní ẹ̀tọ́ ọmọ 51 years ó ì máa ru igi. Ẹni pé kì í ṣe ohun tó ní ẹ̀tọ́ ni. Tí ẹ bá wo bàbá yìí báyìí, ẹni pé lóòótọ́ a má parọ́. Ẹni pé bàbá yìí ti pé ọmọ 51 years. Àmọ́ bàbá yìí ní pé kóun lè jẹun, káwọn lè máa rí kan jẹ. Wípé oúnjẹ tó yẹ kí ni àwọn lè ṣe láti káwọn lè máa rí kan jẹ. Àwọn ò lè jalè, àwọn ò lè fọ́lé, àwọn ò dẹ̀ lè lọ máa tọrọ bárà. Wọ́n á ní kó dáa, kí ló yẹ káwọn máa ṣe? Wípé káwọn máa ru igi. Ìjẹ́ ohun tí ẹ̀yin ará lé, mo tó question sí yín, ìjẹ́ ó jẹ́ ohun tó bójú mu ní orílẹ̀-èdè tí a wà yìí, kí ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí kó máa at age of 51 years kó máa rugi. Ìjẹ́ ó jẹ́ ohun tó tọ́nà? Mo tó question yẹn sí ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ń wò wá, ẹ̀yin ará lé, ibikíbi tí fídíò ìbá dé, mo tó question yẹn sí yín. Kí olúkálukú tó ń wò wá, kí a lọ máa ro question yẹn ní ọkàn ara wa. Ní àárín dájú, ibi tí a ti rí bàbá, ibi tí bàbá yìí rù lélẹ̀, tí a ti rí wípé kò bójúmu, eléyìí ó lágbára. Igi tí bàbá yìí rù lélẹ̀, bàbá ẹ máa bọ̀, kí wọ́n lè mọ̀ bóyá lóòótọ́ ni ẹ̀ ń rugi yẹn. Bàbá ẹ jọ̀ọ́, báwo lẹ ṣe máa gbégi gan sẹ̀? Ìjẹ́ ẹ lè gbé kan báyìí kárí? Báwo lẹ ṣe ní agbára gan láti máa gbégi? Ó yá bàbá, ó yá ìdá mi lóhùn. tí ẹ bá wo igi báyìí méjì ni bàbá yìí ni wọ́n papọ̀ tí wọ́n fẹ́ gbé tí ẹ̀ ń wò yìí. Koikimedia bring it the world closer to your doorstep. You've got mail. Tí bàbá ẹ̀ bá kó igi àwọn fúnra wọn lọ tún máa tó wọ́n á tún tó bàbá ní igi tí ẹ ń gé yìí ẹyọ kọ̀ọ̀kan èló gan lẹ máa ń gbà lórí ẹyọ kọ̀ọ̀kan èló lẹ máa ń gbà lórí ẹyọ kọ̀ọ̀kan ẹ máa ṣáàjẹ papọ̀ ó dá bàbá ẹ̀yin lẹ́dẹ̀ tí kó gbogbo wọ̀nyí àárọ̀ yìí pẹ̀lú eléyìí tí a ti fi wọn àwọn èèyàn a máa padà lọ sí ìfẹ́ǹsì láti fi hàn wọ́n bàbá pẹ̀lú eléyìí tí ẹ ti tò sí bí àti eléyìí tó kù tẹ́ fẹ́ kó èló ní gbogbo ẹ̀ tí ẹ ṣáàjì ẹ̀ wọ́n máa fún yín 1,500 1,500 lẹ máa gbà ó dá bàbá kí lorúkọ yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Kúnlé kíni kí lorúkọ bàbá yín? Ráfẹ́lì Kúnlé Ráfẹ́ ọmọ ìlú wo ni yín? Ọmọ Láwẹ̀ ìyẹn Èkìtì state ẹ ṣé gan ni. Koikimedia bring the world closer to your doorstep once again. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ohun tí à ń bá bọ̀ tí ẹ̀dẹ̀ tí a ti fi ń wọn ẹ̀yin ará ilé ẹ rí bàbá yìí ni pé pẹ̀lú eléyìí tí wọ́n ti tò sí ibi bẹ̀ yẹn sí ìsọ̀ ibi bẹ̀ yẹn pẹ̀lú eléyìí tí a fẹ́ fi hàn yín yìí wọ́n ní 1,500 naira ni wọ́n máa san fún un. $1,500 ni wọ́n máa fi tò adúrigi yìí tí bàbá ẹ̀ máa fi tò bàbá 51 years old 51 years old mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo ara lé tí ẹ̀ ń wò wá ọ̀rọ̀ kì í síbẹ̀ o àní rí ju bí eléyìí lọ once again Koikimedia bringing the world closer to your doorstep once again bye for now.
Mokiwa, a very good morning, and let's leave that. There's too many problems in Nigeria, and the problems will never stop. Does not matter what you say. So these are your new faces of your chief of staff. So we're gonna start from somewhere around there. Okay, President Bola Tinubu depart Nigeria for France. So. And that's a Abuweshiwa Dudu in aircraft by Ryuju and Tinubu could take any chances. Apparently, Tinubu removed them in time. Nigeria is a crazy country. I mean, it's not even about the man that is 51, but it's about making things that can. So about train man that only know other means of ways of taking those plank because CBT to get 51 or Shisheno, so then she argument. It's all about the system that will make it work. Allow Baba Moke, good morning, my brother, and the Comet Plan B and the rest of you. And welcome to the live transmission. So what we're going to do now is just again, we have our own transmission that we have now started. We've just come out of the STARR Radio UK network. Our focus is just the same message. I think I might talk about the East Timor a little bit in details. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to a little bit about the East Timor and what is the way out. Is it the new service chiefs? As you can see, their faces there. Number 1 minute. Once again, Moki Bubualen Konse. So let's first look at this is Major General Ta Lagbaja is from Osun State, from what we are told. Major General Tauhid Lagbaja hails from Irepodun, local government of Osun State. This is your new Inspector General of Police. His name is Kayode Egbetokun, hails from Ogun State. This is your new Nigerian Navy, Rear Admiral E. Ogala from Enugu State. This is your newly Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Hassan Bala Abubakar from Kano State. This is Major General Christopher Musa, is the Chief of Defense Staff. Hails from Kaduna, but was born in Sokoto. The Yoruba have taken over the Apapa custom. So you will not see that bomb bastard Fulani guy to one betele. So what you're going to be seeing now is the new CG, Nigerian Custom, Adeniyi Bashir Adewale. Major General Ekpa Undodiye is the Chief of Defense Intelligence. And that is your President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I didn't know that this didn't change. So you didn't see anything because transmission starts while I'm not tele. Apology. So I'm just gonna go back so that so we go back up because Lori IG did not see anything I was showing earlier. So this is the Major General Ekpa Ondea D, Chief of Defense Staff, Moke Latin Miami, Aziz, Moke Kaso Studio. The new CJ of the Custom Nigeria, Adeniyi Bashir Adewale Ojuele Ewoye. Eléyìí ni Christopher Musa ọmọ Sokoto ni, sorry, ọmọ Kaduna, but Sokoto ni wọ́n bí sí. So this is your new Chief of Defense Staff. Remember, all these are just a temporary measure. Oh yeah, definitely, the presenter was not balancing the conversation. Abroad, but then more presented, understanding 10 years, so we just have to continue to train them a little bit more. There's nothing wrong in if a man of 51 years old, if you have only health issue, then he shouldn't be doing that kind of job. There is other way around that instead of him lift a sorry, one need to lift a sorry, but unfortunately, it is what it is in Nigeria because Nigeria is not a country. So this is the Air Vice Marshal Hassan Bala Abubakar, is the Chief of Air Force. He hails from Kano. Rear Admiral E. Ogala from Enugu State, a Yoruba man, at least finally, it will be in the record until Nigeria will finally break at some point. Is this going to be Mukia Dennis? Is this going to give you peace of mind? Maybe temporarily, but it will not solve our immediate problem. Our immediate problem, our immediate problem is not what we are focusing on now. What we are saying is the long-term solution. Yeah, I'll be talking about Bill Gates. Bill Gates' visit to Tinubu is just another slavery. So he's from Ogun State, Mr. Kayode Egbetoku. And again, this is your Chief of Army Staff. So this one, is the one going to be controlled. So this is equivalent to Buratai. So tell it, Buratai. For the next 4 years, you will not, a couple of Muniwa, Grandma, Comfort, Ologunja, Mukima, and the rest of you that have joined us. So this is going to be the face that you will see. Is he going to be attacking the Igbos like Buratai was doing and the one that just left? We will tell with time, because we know that there was a lot of military attack saying that they are looking for ESN when they should be looking for all the terrorists. I don't know whether you saw the news this morning. There was another kidnap of another Yoruba ruler in Kogi State. Or kidnapped for Bakonlano, Oba of Idofi. Let's see if we can find any image of this man. So the new chief of army staff should be looking for Oba of Idofi. Oba of Idofi, Shadrach Durojaye Obi Benny, and his wife have been adopted by gunmen along Makutu Idofin Road in Yagba East local government area of Kogi State. A source explained that the incident happened yesterday evening, not in the night. I mean, this happened around 5:30 p.m. I don't know whether we have an image of this man. Let's see if we can have, because sometimes we don't see their image. I don't know. They don't document anything in Nigeria. But she click image again. So let's find him with the name. We should have archive of all our kings. This one is not that. Let's go back one step. I didn't put the I. This is why we are saying that itself is another job. Lojawaju. So right now, I can't see. Is it? I think this is him. No, this is another one. This was in. I know there was another kidnap somewhere in Ondo State. Shoba in Lile. I don't know. No images coming out. So I don't know. Because this one says gunmen kidnap, and they put this image there. And when you click on it, all these nonsense newspaper, nothing come up. But here, Ondo Lile is a different news. I'm sure but Komori report a lot of koikimedia. So Imam, Chief Imam of Uso local government in our local government area of Ondo State, Alhaji Ibrahim Oyinlade has been adopted. He was kidnapped on Saturday. So within the space of 72 hours, Kotabani Saturday to Sunday, 24. Sunday to Monday, 48. Well, within the space of 48 hours, 2 Yoruba people have been kidnapped. And nobody knows where they are. So, should we be concerned? This man has a lot of work to do. You have a lot of work to do. You have a lot of work to do. Not just to protect Nigerians, but to protect the Yorubas in all the Southwest. We are now talking about 2 different. So, it's because imagine that this kidnap happened in UK. I mean, I understand that the Titanic that we've been talking about, these are billionaires that traveled, that wanted to, the Titanic submarine lost. News. Now, kan wà lára àwọn tọ́jọ́ lọ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Crew are still missing. Crew on the missing Titanic sub face risk of hypothermia as the air runs out. Expert warns as the final photos of the vessel setting out with a British billionaire, UK-based businessman and his teenage son on board. They paid £69,000, but you don't come out because as long as they have the money. So Shazda Dahoud, 48, picture with his wife Christina, a UK-based board member of the Prince Trust charity, and his son Sulaiman Dahoud, 19, are among the 5 people missing in the submarine that set off to see the wreckage of the Titanic, it was revealed. Among those taking part in the expedition is a billionaire Amish Adin. Picture is the CEO of the Action Aviation in Dubai. He excitedly posted to social media about being there on Sunday. But the question I'm asking everybody is, are these much important than these people? Are these much important than this person? I mean, why is it that we are not important? It's because we don't have a picture of this king. I've tried to search on the internet. All I can say is just images of terrorists. So nobody seems to have the image of this king, Tojamo Yoruba. I don't understand. I want to say the part of that land, let's see, again, Oba of Idofin. Everybody's just saying the news, but we don't have an image. That shows the problem we have in Yoruba land. Even all our Oba tan tori won se wahala, they don't know that they will be well documented. Because by now, by just typing in the name of this king, nothing. Ṣé wọ́n ṣe ceremony nígbà tó ṣe ìwúyè ni àbí kankan? I don't understand. So why is it that we can't have the image? Ṣé òun lélẹ̀? So what I don't understand is, why is this important and this one is not important until we factor the fact that we are in a wrong country called Nigeria? Because this is an important man to us. He's a chief imam in our own state, in Owo, local government area of Ondo State. The chief imam was adopted while he was working on his farm at a solo camp within the community. So oko wọn ló ti jí bàbá ìgbé. Oko wọn. But again, this one is much as important news, is a global news, but this one is not a global news. You can see the difference. You can see why we are not as important. Mukiyawa Felicia Ajagbe, Amakolex, Sir Smith, Mr. Babatunde Bakari, Blessing _ hey, Camberwell, you are. Wow. Ṣé ká wá gẹrun ní Camberwell? Ṣé ẹ máa fún mi ní discount? Mọ́mí wa Blessing _ ajá máa gbúgbá o. Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun ẹ̀yin ará Camberwell, gbogbo ẹ̀yin ará South East. Koikimedia loves you all. I hope you are taking time to do the air and listen to us. So let's leave all these and come back to the afternoon broadcast that we have today. Very good news. Tinubu has removed all the security chiefs. Is it going to bring any joy? We wait and see. Maybe there will be less kidnapping. Because láti ìgbà tí Tinubu ti débẹ̀, I don't have the record anymore. But what I can tell you is that since Tinubu has been in power, láti May 29, more Nigerians have been kidnapped, more Nigerians have been killed, and that is the evidence. We pray for these people that are also missing, that they will find them before the air runs out in their submarine. They've paid £96,000 for this expedition. It is not a small money. £96,000. If you have that money, you can do a lot of things. You can expand your business. You can even get a citizenship of UK. And I'm not joking. With £96,000, all you need to do is just, know the legal team that will help you to sort that out. But again, we pray that ẹni tó san £96,000 kó má jẹ́ tó wá fi ọwọ́ ara ẹ̀ ra wàhálà báyìí. Torí pé though, I mean, people take risk in everyday life. Kò síbi tí kò sí risk. A kò pray pé k'Ọlọ́run Ọba Elédùmarè kó jẹ́ kí wọ́n rí wọn as quickly as possible before they run out of air. So that is all I can say. Now I'm going to come back to the program I promised us, which is the East Timor. So our conversation after the Star Radio this morning, this afternoon, depending on the time zone that you're watching, is going to focus on a country called, okay, let's leave independent, and it's going to focus on East Timor. Why is it important in the struggle of the Yoruba nation as well? Why is it important for us to balance the conversation that we are discussing, that we want our right to self-determination under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the Oracle? Why must we continue to ask for our quest, Q-U-E-S-T, our quest to the right to self-determination, regardless of whatever and whatever anybody thinks? That is the conversation. That is what I'm going to be discussing. The whole population, this is not a very big country, okay? It's a very small in number. Their population is about 1.3 million, according to the World Bank in 2021. They have a prime minister, which is called Tau Matan Rook. Their GDP, as of 2023, they have their own official language. Remember that Portuguese was part of those. I'm going to speak a lot of English because of the presentation. Has to be like that. But matra láti sọ Yorùbá tó pọ̀ láti lè fi jẹ́ kí ó yé àwọn èèyàn. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí Castle Studio, mo kí Jaya, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa tí ẹ̀ ń bá wa dá sí. Wọ́n ní language tí wọ́n náà tó ń pè ní Tatun, T-E-T-U-N. Báwa náà ṣe ní language tá à ń pè ní Yorùbá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ wo èdè. Tá bá ti ní language, èdè ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. There's nothing called Nigeria because Nigeria does not have the language. Mo kí mọ́mí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Grandma Felicia, mo kí ìyàwó Bryant and ìyàwó Grace GR1 and all the organizations that are working tirelessly, for the quest of the Yoruba nation. Tatun language, it is one of the official languages of Timor-Leste. It is also spoken in Belu Regency and Indonesia, West Timor. Tatun, Portuguese, Tatun native. Báwa náà ṣe ní Yoruba language, mo kí bàbá wa Bíọ́dún George. Ẹ mọ̀ pé Yorùbá wa ó tún wá pín sí oríṣiríṣi. Ẹ káàbọ̀ bàbá wa Kúnlé Ṣítà. Because dialect tí wọ́n bá ń sọ ní Èkìtì, téèyàn bá careful, ẹni tó jẹ́ ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú Òde, kò ń ṣe pé kò ní gbọ́, but the pronunciation, bó ṣe máa pronounce ẹ̀, bó ṣe máa jáde, ó yàtọ̀ síra wọn. Ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá wa Bíọ́dún George. So àwọn ará East Timor tá fẹ́ fi ṣe program ní ọ̀sán yìí ní aago 12 ó kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 10 díẹ̀. Àwọn náà ní èdè tiwọn. Wọ́n ní èdè tọ̀dọ̀ tiwọn. Tó èèyàn bá náà fẹ́ ride bicycle láti ibìkan sí ibìkan ní Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n ń ṣe náà, but risk yẹn ti pọ̀ jù. Ẹ̀rí tí Castle sọ pé òun gun kẹ̀kẹ́ káàkiri láti ibìkan sí ibìkan, láti Parkinson towards Edmonton. Láti Edmonton a tún lọ sọ́nà àdúgbò bòmíì. káàkiri bẹ́ẹ̀ torí pé safety system wà ní. Now in tí a fẹ́ fi yé àwọn èèyàn wa lénìí ni pé was East Timor a British colony? Àwọn kan béèrè. East Timor came under Portuguese influence ní 16th century, remaining a Portuguese colony títí di ọdún mẹ́ta tó máa bí èmi ní 1978. So gbogbo intanṣe ń béèrè fún nísìn Colitech, my brother, how you doing, sir? It's like pé àwọn kan expect pé ó yẹ ká ti gba country tá à ń pè ní Yorùbá nation yẹn, but what they don't understand is that yes, ó dá pé a fẹ́ gbà, ó dàbí pé ká ti gbà lánàá, but the argument is if we have not make as much effort like àwọn kan tí a fi ń ṣe comparison, because à ń fi àwọn ìlú yìí ṣe comparison, but wo ibi táwọn ti ń bọ̀ as a country nísìn kó tó di pé wọ́n jáde. Ẹ mọ̀ pé easy fún aká sọ pé Soviet Union break, Yugoslavia break, and all these countries to break up. But ǹjẹ́ awo wọ́n ní tíyàn bá họra títí tó bá jẹ́ pé ó ń dùn mọ́ ẹ tó ò bá careful wàá fẹ́ á di egbò. But àwa nísìn kàn jáde láti ṣe kí ni, láti sọ pé a fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation. But yes, thank you so much, Colitech. I love you too as well, my brother. And I hope everything is going in accordance to wherever you are around the world. So it is easy for me to sit here and be using East Timor. But East Timor ti kọjá into they've gone through a lot of turmoil. They've gone through a lot before they can now say that they are a country. We have also gone through a lot, but the difference is that as we have gone through a lot, people should even say that the Yoruba nation that we are asking for did not start in 2019. It has been in existence. And I can always give us just, a short video of a reminder from George Akinola. This was 2017, when some of us were sleeping, when some of us were not even interested in what is going on in Nigeria until Baba Akintoye, the Oracle, IGBOHO, propelled the movement, because George Akinola said the same thing that Dr. Chief Sunday IGBOHO was saying, but because nobody was interested in what he was saying, but what he was saying made sense, maybe we should listen to it.
Impediment to Yoruba development is the impediment to Oodua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
If you don't allow we Biafrans to go, that zoological republic called Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia, and today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. Should I say Somali visa? Try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction, and there is nothing man can do to reverse it. Mark today's date and what I'm telling you. Nigeria will be destroyed beyond the human comprehension.
Nigeria is already gone. It's like the wreckage. Wreckage of Titanic. Let's see if we can find any images of Titanic. And tó bá mọ̀ bí Titanic ṣe rí lábẹ́ omi, ìtọ́ ló ń wò leléyìí. Thank you so much, Olajide Kollington Kọ́láwọlé. Orúkọ ló dàbí máa jó lọ Kollington. Àbí family nìyí. Àwọn tó san 96,000, bàbá mi Abíọ́dún ṣe ń gbọ́ mi, àwọn òyìnbó billionaire, ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀kí nǹkan tó máa pààyàn kó máa wùyàn jẹ. But sometimes it's for a reason. Wọ́n ní tíyàn bá ò tí lówó lò tí ṣìwàwù ni, tó bá lówó tán ìwọ náà ṣìwàwù díẹ̀, kọ́lọ́ má jà ṣìwàwù ni. Imagine this is what they're going to look. The wreckage. Because kò sí nǹkan kan tó wà níbẹ̀ ju pé history kan wà tó bá Titanic wà. So ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ní Nigeria bí a mo ní di photo ẹ jẹ́ n lo photo yìí lẹ́yìn mi mo like ele so ibì kan nínú Nigeria wà lókè ìkejì wà lábẹ́ omi ẹ wá ń fẹ́ gbé wá ẹ fi rescue ẹ irọ́ lẹ pa ẹ ń tanra yín. Every person that is trying to rescue Nigeria, you are trying to rescue the Titanic. Okay, kí ló dé tí kò fún mi ní méjì yẹn because okay mo mọ why màá kọ́kọ́ lọ gbé lọ sí copy. Ẹ jẹ́ nǹkan jù sí bíbá. Ìgbéyẹmí ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí kẹ́. One of our media. Má lọ freeze o. Ilé tó ti ń ṣe mí nìkan mi. Mo dẹ̀ láìkí méjì ṣá. Nǹkan ti fẹ́ freeze. Ẹ ká padà sẹ́yìn ìgbé. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí i. Lady Cave now alive. Topic we want to discuss, so we all discuss different topics. I'm talking about be istimo. So now can watch say what I see. Èmi sọ̀rọ̀ bí istimo ṣe gba independent wọn lèmi wà after. So gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ní ẹ fẹ́ save Nigeria, ẹ máa rántí pé bí Nigeria ṣe rí leléyìí o. That is the Nigeria. Orí kan wà lókè, ìkejì ti wà lábẹ́ omi. So how we are going to rescue these now is what I don't know. So if you are talking about the wreckage of the Titanic, in táwọn kan ló ń fi owó wò lílé £96,000. Ọlọ́run tóbi lọ́ba ṣá. I don't know whether we can get a video that Baba Tebi YouTube àtẹ̀yọ́. A lè lo ti BBC. Mo rántí pé 1 month ago, yes, mo dà pé mo sọ̀rọ̀ lé náà níjọ́ tí mo ní wọ́n ti gbé wá sí West Ham kíní image Titanic different photograph a lè lo ti BBC ò ń bínú síyàn àwọn ṣáà ń sanwó TV license it will give me an opportunity to stand up for about 10 minutes kákọ̀ gbọ́ while I remove my so let's watch this. I do not own the copyright. But let's enjoy it.
Now, because we're going to look at one of the most famous shipwrecks of all time, the focus of all those documentaries and the Hollywood movies. But there's one version of Titanic we have never seen until this morning.
That's right. Experts have used special technology to map the entire ship on the ocean floor and create its digital twin. And our science editor, Rebecca Morale, has been given exclusive access to the project.
Nearly 4,000 metres down in the murky depths of the Atlantic, the Titanic. It's so huge that in the gloom, cameras can only ever show us tantalising snapshots of the decaying ship, never the whole thing. But now a new project has revealed the wreck as it's never been seen before.
There aren't many places big enough for the wreck of the Titanic, but this is one of them, the stadium where the 2012 London Olympics was held.
A full-sized scan of the wreck has been captured, and to appreciate its scale, we've superimposed it in the stadium.
The Titanic was simply colossal, and this 3D scan reveals the wreck in its entirety. For the first time, we have an exact digital copy of the real thing. And what you see here is what's lying on the floor of the North Atlantic Ocean. And not only can we get an idea of the ship's enormous size, this scan also gives us a close-up view of its smallest details.
You can explore the wreck from every angle. The boat deck here can be seen from above. The gaping hole provides a glimpse inside, where the grand staircase once stood.
Shari Inti Anwoloy is the iṣẹ́ tí àwọn kan náà rí pé ó bẹ́tà kémi lọ witness ẹ̀ lábẹ́ ilẹ̀ gangan. Ẹ má bínú bìkan mo ní láti sọ láàrin méjì kó tó di pé ọkọ̀ máa zoom pa kan lo fídíò wọn ni. Bí mo kí mọ́mi wa roots ìbàbá mi Abíọ́dún, I don't even understand Ẹ̀gbá nor Ìjẹ̀ṣà even Ìkálẹ̀. But we are Yoruba people, even bẹ́ẹ̀ bá tẹ̀ understand it. Ìyẹn wà understandable. Mo kí bàbá mi ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Tosh 1904. Kọ́nà bá wa dúró ti our beautiful beautiful Adéyínká grandson. Ọkùnrin kọ́ lọ sọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ ni again. Very, very intelligent Yoruba man, but it is what it is. I don't know what went wrong, but it's currently being held. But Sherry Titanic tẹ ẹ̀kọ́rọ́rá wò yìí, òun lọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà. But tí bá ti padà jókòó later, àwa wọnú ètò East Timor. Ìdí tí mo ṣe fẹ́ mú East Timor as my analysis today is because mo fẹ́ kí ẹ̀mí àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà àti àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń bẹ nínú ẹ̀ to start thinking that this Titanic tí ẹ fẹ́ rescue ó máa sink gbogbo wa o. I know you love Tinubu so much. Àwa ò hate it. And I don't have to be saying that all the time. Kò necessary, kò sanwó fún mi. And I can abuse him anytime, I can call him any names. But it's because, again, àwọn kan ní Koiki, ẹ má ẹ̀ka ṣe yẹn. And I am a listening person. I take feedback. Kò cost me anything. It's not as important as Donald Trump or Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson ní anything. Nígbà tó lọ́ọ̀kì gbogbo sínú ilé, òun ṣe party nínú COVID. So, but in tí mo fẹ́ kákọ̀ pick nínú bíbá yìí ni pé màá play video again, màá dìde nísìnyí, but màá mute mic me because there are so many noise coming out. But ẹni tẹ́ wà lórí Instagram, ẹni kọ́lẹ̀ kan máa gbọ́ the feed àtàwọn tó wà lórí Mixlr. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún gbọ́ Titanic díẹ̀, ká wo bó ṣe lọ, and ask ourselves, are we truly sure that we want to rescue Nigeria or we want to let it go? Kó tó di pé ó máa sink gbogbo wa pátápátá, because Nigeria máa sink gbogbo wa if we are not careful. It will sink every bottom of every one of us. Let's listen.
And the wheelhouse, covered in fragile stalactites of rust. Already some remarkable detail can be seen, like this serial number on a propeller.
The resolution is phenomenal, genuinely phenomenal. I've not seen anything of that resolution. This will allow scientists, historians to re-understand how the Titanic came to be where it is, and it's also it's a snapshot in time.
The Titanic was scanned last summer. Submersibles were deployed, remotely controlled from the ship. They travelled the length and breadth of the wreck, back and forth. 700,000 images were taken from every angle to build up an exact 3D reconstruction. The wreck is in two parts. The bow is still instantly recognisable, more than 100 years after it sank. 800 metres away, the stern, though, is a chaotic mess of metal. It collapsed as it corkscrewed into the sea floor. In the surrounding debris field, items are scattered. Ornate metalwork, unopened champagne bottles, and personal possessions too. Dozens of shoes resting on the sediment. Despite how extensively the Titanic has been explored,
£96,000.
Questions.
We really don't understand the character of the collision with the iceberg. We don't even know if she hit it along the.
When we are saying that Nigeria is not going to survive, some are arguing that Nigeria will survive. How? I don't know. But the Titanic that went lost nísìn, tán wá lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn, òun lélẹ̀ submarine ni tó gbéyàn márùn lọ sábẹ́ omi. Àwọn ocean gate yẹn lélẹ̀. Let's see if they have any update. We are exploring àwọn organization company tó ní submarine tí ó sọnù nísìn lélẹ̀. Ìyẹn àná lélẹ̀. We are exploring and mobilizing all our options. Mo ti kà nínú paper tààrọ̀ ìfún yín to bring back the crew back safely. Our entire focus is on the crew members and its submersible and their families. We are deeply thankful for the extensive assistance we have received from several government agencies and the deep sea company in our effort to re-establish contact with the submersible. We are working towards the safe return of the crew member. The submersible lost contact an hour and 45 into a dive. So even protect, dive 1 million, not to lose contact. He has a life support of 96 hours. So we pray that they will find them. Titanic located 13,000 feet 4,000 meters under the water. Man, it is going to be a challenge to locate them. We pray that they are found as quickly as possible. So I don't know which video is this.
Opportunity to be a specially trained crew member safely diving to the Titanic wreckage site. Safely diving to the Titanic wreckage site.
Diving on the Titanic with Ocean Gate, it's a fabulous experience.
As there's more publicity, and I think more people will be fighting for a spot on this ship.
That is their advert. So to buy £96,000, you can go and pay £96,000 and then go and visit Titanic. A race against time. Search is on the way. Let's watch this video. So this is the search team from the US and Canada are engaged in a race against time to find the missing tourist submarine. Just as people are thinking that we can rescue and find peace in Nigeria. Number. It disappeared during a dive into the Titanic wreck on Sunday, 1 hour to Wabe. The submarine was carrying 5 people. Billionaire somewhere, another person. The vessel remains missing. Concerns grow for the crew safety. The crew members have approximately 4 days worth of oxygen remaining. So at the moment, it's just a race. Contact lè reach padà. Bí àwọn ti hit nǹkan kan lábẹ́ omi ni, nobody knows. And this is why we are saying to people that ẹ má sọ pé Yorùbá nation ò lè wáyé. Ẹ̀yin kọ́ lẹ máa make a decision yẹn. Kò ń ṣe Bọ́lá Tinubu. Government na go and come. Government máa wá, government máa lọ ni. Òun lọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà. Among the individuals on the board is a Hamish Adin, a British billionaire, a businessman and an explorer. There's nothing wrong to explore. Risk wà ní gbogbo nǹkan tá à ń ṣe. Ìtawà gbé dání náà ṣé ẹ ti bú Ìgbòho títí. Ara risk tí bàá mi tó ń gbà nìyẹn. Jẹ́jẹ́ mi tó wá dé pé kò ṣe Yorùbá nation, a máa ṣayé ẹ̀ lọ. 1 million Fúlàní náà lè dá Ìgbòho dúró àfi tí kú bá fẹ́ pa. But Ìgbòho wà concern fáwọn ọmọ Yorùbá. Ló ṣe jáde, ló ṣe fi gbogbo tó ní sílẹ̀. Àwọn kan tí wọ́n ní and then so what? Nígbà tó ti rí ọ̀nà dáadáa gbòòrò mi. So the missing submarine is believed to be the Ocean Gate Titan submersible, the only vessel capable of reaching the necessary depth to access the wreckage. Àwọn eléyìí nìkan ni wọ́n ní tó lè lọ sábẹ́. Now, kí ló máa rescue wọn nísìn? Only God knows how they are surviving lábẹ́ omi yẹn nísìn. Hey, wàhálà wà o. But nothing comes without a risk in life. Àtayébáyé táwọn bàbá owó lọ́wọ́ ò bá jà pé ìjà pé kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n gbébọn ẹṣẹ́ gan ni mọ́mí wa comfort for as usual the support. Kò ń ṣe pé torí wọ́n jàjà. It has been an incredible busy 2 weeks. Thank you to all our dive teams who have joined us here. This was June 15. 5 days after that, they have become a global. But our reason, we are not a global because I still prepare mind wa tán délẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kàn wo small nínú video yìí sí. Then I will come back and we go straight to the East Timor. We are still very good in timing. This is your live transmission, Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to our doorsteps.
Starboard side, as shown in all the movies. She might have grounded on the iceberg. And this photogrammetry model is one of the first major steps to driving the Titanic story toward evidence-based research and not speculation.
The sea is taking its toll on the wreck. Microbes are eating away at it, and plots are disintegrating. Time is running out to find out what happened on that April night in 1912, when more than 1,000 lives were lost. But the scan now freezes the wreck in time and allows experts to pore over every minute detail. The hope is Titanic may yet give up its secrets. Rebecca Morrell, BBC News.
It's amazing. isn't it? Absolutely
stunning.
incredible to see it. And we're delighted to say we're joined now in the studio by Anthony Geffen, who's the Chief Executive Creative Director of Atlantic Productions, one of the firms behind this project. I bet you still can't quite believe it when you see it on the screen like we have this morning.
No, I mean, this is the first time it's been revealed, and it's been a long time coming, a huge amount of work. But it's amazing to actually see it now. And the detail is phenomenal. I mean, they've literally captured 1-to-1 resolution on a digital twin, which is pretty extraordinary.
Talk us through the detail. What can we see that we haven't seen before?
Well, I first went to the Titanic about 5 years ago on an expedition because nobody had been to the Titanic in 14 years. And what we were looking at is what's the state of the Titanic. And it was extraordinary, and Titanic just captures you in a way. So what I really wanted to do was to be able to go back and break new ground, to actually capture the Titanic in a way that we could properly use science to look at what happened on that fateful night. And we met up with deepwater specialists, Magellan, and they mounted an extraordinary expedition to the Titanic to capture literally every river, every detail, using scanning and other technology. And that gives us, I mean, what I never dreamt we'd have, an ability to literally look around the site to find out what happened, or we will find out because the journey's beginning now, to find out what happened on that fateful night, but also the details of the personal stories. You know, we can actually tell from the wreck, we can see personal details and tell personal stories.
Which is really important, isn't it? Because I think sometimes we get fascinated, obsessed with the structure of the ship. Understandably, phenomenal achievement to build and then lose. But it's all about the people.
It is all about the people, and I mean, you know, just a couple of examples of what the scientists already what's coming out of the wreck. We can go to Boiler Room 1, and Park Stevenson, one of the Titanic experts, has worked out that when it actually imploded at the top.
Titanic at least.
When it into the water. So we now know that boiler room was the boiler room, and who's in it, who were keeping the lights on that allowed so many people to escape the Titanic.
What the point in the background, the Titanic,
yeah. Moments that is, and then because that's always been a mystery. It's always been a mystery.
Mommy,
and another mystery is
Moyo. Our sisters want to say analysis lórí yẹn. No, when you first dive into all those areas, and to bá ti mọ Koikimedia dáadáa, èmi ò fẹ́ diving into gbogbo àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn because as far as I'm concerned, Ìgbòho pé òun wá ní kíyàwó òun tilẹ̀kùn mọ́rí kọ́rú àmàlà fáwọn ṣọ́rọ̀ nìyẹn. So ìyẹn lèmi ò ṣe analysis lórí gbogbo àwọn, but I think taba lọ àti my sister Lady K Ọmọrẹ̀mí wa ó ń ṣe analysis lé lórí. Èmi ò ń ṣe analysis lórí gbogbo àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Ẹni tó bá mọ Koiki dáadáa, okay, ọ̀tọ̀ ní ilé tó ń sọ nísìnyí, onítìrì aṣẹ́wó Queen B how market. Àwọn sisters wa ló máa ń ṣe gbogbo àwọn analysis yẹn. Èmi ò ní time mo máa burn energy mi fún Kọ́lá Olótù. So ẹni tó bá mọ Koiki dáadáa, á mọ̀ pé I don't dive into all those areas. So ẹ má bínú. Now, mo kí bàbá wa Túndé Adémọ́sù. I'm now going to focus now. I have how many hours left? I have just about 1 hour 15 minutes, and I want to really push more on the East Timor. Tá a bá tẹ̀ parí ẹ̀. Ẹni tó bá follow wa lánàá, akadé ẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀, so there's nothing wrong if I repeat a little bit. Ẹ má fi ṣe ìbínú. It's just the way it is. But jẹ́ kí n kọ́kọ́ wo, maybe we can get a video about it. Ó dà pé ó dà pé mo máa ń lo eléyìí, but ọmọ ń padà wá disconnected kúrò. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ látọ̀dọ̀ professor wa. Our professor use his video all the time. Ó ti náà máa ṣe program lórí Yorùbá Nation. Ó ti send message sí mi, but kò tí lè sọ pé gbà báyìí. Ọwọ́ ẹ̀ kún gan. Ìyẹn máa ń tẹ̀ ń wò yìí. Professor kìíní ló ń jẹ́ Professor James Lindsay. You know, he talks about different things around the world that has got to do with independence, sovereignty. Ó ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn Biafra rẹ̀, but mo ti send comment tí gbogbo àná bá lọ ń gbọ́ ta bá ń comment lábẹ́ tó ti ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ ká sọ pé kó sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Yorùbá Nation. Èmi ti ṣe tèmi because irú òun ní sì tó bá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Yorùbá Nation. ó tún máa ní more weight náà ni, ó máa fún ní global recognition tá à ń fẹ́. So it is entirely up to every one of us. So a máa gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ nípa how did East Timor win independence? Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ lórí ẹ̀. Èmi náà ṣàwá ṣe more conversation lé lórí. But nǹkan kan tí mo fẹ́ mú jáde nínú ọ̀rọ̀ East Timor yìí ni pé mo sọ pé president wọn kí lorúkọ ẹ̀ náà, president Indonesia, òun ló facilitate ọ̀rọ̀ bó ṣe gba independent ní 1999. There was a new government ní Indonesia. That new government ló fún wọn ní right through United Nations pé ìtọ́pè ní sponsor referendum. They had a referendum. Referendum yẹn ló fún wọn ní country lénìí. Ẹ ṣe gan ni yàrá Eunice Adeleyema. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àyàn máa bọ̀ ní pẹ̀lú bàbá burúkú yẹn tó náà ń rán àmàlà fóun. And all the other ones as well. That's why I don't touch it. When I need to push more on other areas. Well, ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ gbọ́ fídíò yẹn so that tá a bá ti gbọ́ fídíò yẹn á fún wa ní better understanding. Màá keep quiet, I'll run it. Màá jẹ́ kó sọ̀rọ̀ dé sometime màá wá cut láàrin méjì torí àwọn akọ́lá ní fídíò yẹn. And we're only using it for educational purpose. Self-determination ò ṣe crime. It is our right. This is how East Timor win. Ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀kan tó sọ síbẹ̀ yẹn, ṣé Yorùbá máa win independent wọn through Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Nobody knows, but we hope he will think in that direction. He has the time to do so, and we hope he will use it properly. Let's listen to East Timor.
2002, the small Southeast Asian country of East Timor finally became independent after a campaign for statehood that had lasted for well over a quarter of a century. While many observers see East Timor's quest for statehood as a model for other territories seeking independence, as I'll show, it actually falls into a rather unusual category of independence movements in international relations. Hello and welcome. My name is James Curlincy. If you're new to the channel, here I take a look at international relations, conflict, and the origins of countries. The vast majority of the world's independence conflicts are secessionist in nature. These are disputes where a part of an established state wants to break away and become a country in its own right. In most of these cases, the parent state, as the country it's trying to break away from is usually known, refuses to grant permission, and the territory in question is left with little to no official international support for its attempts to become independent. However, alongside these disputes, there have been a select few cases where an independence movement emerges in a territory that does in fact have a legitimate and widely recognised right to statehood. In these examples, the territory's path to statehood has in fact been thwarted by an external power, most usually a neighbouring state that has made a land grab for the territory at the point of decolonisation. In a recent video, I looked at one such case, Western Sahara.
A ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Western Sahara ẹ rí. We will talk about it. As we speak today, Western Sahara ti gba 20% of their territory lọ́wọ́ Morocco, but Morocco refused to give them the remaining 80%. Ogun ṣì ń lọ níbẹ̀ yẹn náà.
The link above and in the description below. However, another fascinating example was East Timor. Unlike Western Sahara, which remains unresolved, East Timor did in fact eventually manage to gain its independence, but not without having to fight for almost 30 years.
Ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, ṣùgbọ́n òyìnbó tó sọ níbẹ̀ yẹn, ó ní East Timor fought for 30 years. Ọdún 3 decades. Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ káwa jà ká tó lọ. But we pray that we will get what belongs to us as quickly as possible. Let's continue.
To secure it. East Timor, more properly and officially known as Timor-Leste, lies in Southeast Asia. Located on the island of Timor, It shares a land border with Indonesia to its west and is surrounded to its north and east by other Indonesian islands. Immediately to its south, across the Sea of Timor, is Australia, which lies approximately 500 kilometres or 300 miles away. At 15,000 square kilometres or 5,800 square miles, is the 154th largest of the UN's 193 member states. Its population is around 1.27 million, making it 156th in terms of population size. The story really begins in the early 16th century, when the Portuguese...
tó bá ń gbọ́ 16th century jẹ́ fún ẹni kan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ní 15th century according to our oracle kọ́lọ̀ túbọ̀ lọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀mí bàbá Akíntóyè torí pé àwọn history tó fún wa yìí tó yẹ kí bàbá yóò fún wa láwọn history olúwọ̀tẹ̀ ni mọ any nonsense tí Nàìjíríà tó ti pa mọ́ wa lára mo fẹ́ lọ mú ẹgbọ́n nǹkan tí bàbá Akíntóyè sọ ní 15th century ẹgbọ́n nǹkan tí bàbá yẹn sọ nínú ọ́díò yìí.
In 1533, 15 mo pè ó 1533 one Portuguese explorer trader náà ó wá sí ó ní Èkó lòún wà ìlú àwọn tàfẹ́ ní orúkọ wa nínú ọ̀sẹ̀bà orúkọ tí wọ́n máa fẹ́ fẹ́ olùkọ́ ẹnìkan. Only but beyond this place, I hear that there are many big towns in the interior. And not far from here, about 10 leagues from here, there is a great city called IGBOHO, G-E-E-B-O-U, IGBOHO, with a great wall around it.
What also yẹn ẹni sùúrù bàbá? What tí bàbá sọ yẹn òun ló ń pè ní Sàngó Èrìdò. Sàngó Èrìdò. A sì sọ ní ìjọ òní Sàngó Èrì wọ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú wọ̀ Sàngó Èrìdò. Wọ́ọ̀ tí bàbá Akíntóyè ń sọ 15th century. And when people say that we should ignore all these, you sometimes ask the question, mo fẹ́ bí any video wà ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́ wo video yẹn àwọn tó lọ síbẹ̀ ní 2015 ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́ wo video yẹn díẹ̀ àwọn akọ́lá níbọ̀ ká kọ́ enjoy ẹ̀. This should be a tourism place, just like the Chinese wall. But ìgbà tá a wà nínú Nàìjíríà, báwo ni Nàìjíríà ti fẹ́ value tó jẹ́ tiwa? Gbogbo bí tẹ kó bá tẹ̀ ṣe náwọn bíi historical kìíní náà ẹ̀wò kó wá develop. This was 15th century tí bàbá Akíntóyè sọ ẹ̀wọ́ ṣe ń fi àdá gé títí tó fi kọjá lọ́nà. It's because Nigeria ò value ẹ̀. Ṣe. Nílé lo video ẹ̀ púpọ̀ because èmi kọ́ mo ní. Like I said, we are preparing Koiki Media team for some of these expedition as well, but hopefully very soon. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ rí wọ́n ìka gbọ́n kan tí bàbá sọ délé tán.
With a great wall around it. That is in 1533.
1533.
Ìjẹ̀bú-Òde was already more than 500 years old.
Wọ́n níyàn kan kọ ìtàn Ìjẹ̀bú-Òde ní 1533. Ìjẹ̀bú dẹ̀ ti exist 500 years before that. Mo kí ẹ ní Miami Aziz.
Àwa nìkan ló ń gbé ìlú cities and towns.
Àwa nìkan là ń gbèlú. Ẹ jẹ́ padà sọ̀rọ̀ East Timor tá à ń bá lọ. Once again, this is just to tell those that are saying that Yoruba nation ò lè wáyé ọ̀nà wo lẹ fẹ́ gbà. No, there is always a way out for everything. I just want to watch a little bit and then move swiftly to the analysis that we're doing. Mo kí ìyàwó Àbíbá Ẹ̀kásùn to the Metama.
On the island and established a trading base. A century later, the Dutch also arrived. Colonizing the western part of the island, they forced the Portuguese over to the east.
So táwọn colonial people ṣe ni pé wọ́n ní àwọn ará Dutch àwọn mú the western part bí abẹ́ lomi wà bí abẹ́ ló ṣe dẹ̀mdẹ̀m ẹ̀ pọ́n máa ń láìkì ibi tó mi wà àwọn Portuguese mú east part kí ló wá ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́yìn yẹn.
In 1859, the two countries formally delimited the boundaries between.
Boundaries is always the problem. A ti mọ̀ pé boundary wa òun ni jẹ́bà mú kí bàbá wa Túndé. But because àìtí mọ̀ pé tá a bá cut out kúrò lára the rest, tẹ́ pé tó bá di pé ó fẹ́ wá sọ́dọ̀ wa, wọ́n go through custom and immigration. We are living in denial.
In their two parts under the Treaty of Lisbon. This was followed by another convention signed in 1893. However, after another dispute arose, the matter was referred to the Permanent Court of Arbitration, which set the final border between the two parts of the island.
Tẹ́ bá wo tó sọ ní bíbá ní The Hague, April 13, 1930, kẹ́lẹ́ bá mọ̀ pé àwọn òyìnbó yìí wọ́n ti ń plan ayé wa fún wa, wọ́n ti ń mọ bá ṣe fẹ́ rìn, wọ́n mọ ta fẹ́ ṣe, àwa la máa sọ pé no, enough is enough. Imagine April 3rd, 1913, wọ́n sign ní convention kìíní kan ní Hague, and a year after that ni wọ́n amalgamate in Nigeria, and somebody says that they love you so much. Níbo ló ti ìfẹ́ náà dà? Níbo ló ti nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa? Ibo nífẹ̀ẹ́ náà wà? Sọ́nkì mú kí ẹ, ìyá mi Esther.
Another dispute arose. The matter was referred to the Permanent Court of Arbitration, which set the final border between the two parts of the island.
Ẹ wo date yẹn again. Ẹ bá ń wo program báyìí, ẹ máa monitor date 25th of June 1914. That means like 6 months to amalgamate in Nigeria. Nigeria was amalgamated on 1st of January 1914. And this was already a dispute having arisen between the Royal Netherlands government and that of the Portuguese. Lórí ìlú tó ń ṣe tiwọn. Imagine this, àwọn kan ń jà fún territory tó ń ṣe tiwọn because they are the explorer. Àwọn ọ̀fẹ́ explore. Àyàwó máa ń já Koiki ìtẹ̀gbẹ́ yìí. And at the end of the day, bí à ń tí wọ́n fi conquer wa lọ́jọ́ náà nìyẹn. Because báwo ló ṣe conquer wa? Because we are not ready people. A fẹ́ fi gbogbo taratara ṣe nǹkan. Ẹlòmíì mo ti bá ń ṣe Yorùbá nation ti sú mi. Ẹ̀ta ló wá bẹ̀yìn. Nobody begs anybody. We are talking about a future that will benefit every one of us. Àwọn ará East Timor nísìnyí gbádùn. Ẹ má bínú pé mo kàn fi pull out there nínú fídíò yìí. Let's first go and look at níbo ni passport index wọn gan wà. Kákọ̀ fi ṣe comparison. The passport index ọmọ tó bá bí sí East Timor. Kí ni ranking passport wọn lé ní? According to òun lélẹ̀. So ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń sọ pé ó ti sún yín, but at the end of the day, because some of you have alternative, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní tẹ̀ ní ó ti sún yín, ẹ̀yin lọ darapọ̀ mọ́ APC, kẹjọ máa lọ ṣe ẹgbẹ́kẹgbẹ́ yín bẹ̀, kẹjọ máa lọ ṣe change next level àti whatever tó bá mú wá fún yín. So yẹn là ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn pé a country fought for 30 years, but the benefit lẹ́ni nísìn passport ranking wọn number 57. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo passport ranking ìlú òṣì tẹ́ pè ní Nàìjíríà. Tẹ́ ń pè ní country tẹ́ fẹ́ appreciate, tẹ́ fẹ́ kú lórí ẹ̀ tó yẹ pé òun ni Titanic tó wà lẹ́yìn mi tó ti kú dànù. Kò ń ṣe passport renewal, passport index ni mo need. Passport index according to the passport ranking of the world. Number 84 ní Nigeria rank. Ẹ wò lélẹ̀ tó bá tẹ̀ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ gan lọ́sẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ mú ilé wa báyìí. Passport in Nigeria ó tán rẹ́ẹ̀dì lọ everywhere ni. Now mo kí mọ́mí wa Janet for argument's sake kákọ̀tẹ̀ sọ pé àtẹ̀fẹ́ Yorùbá nation lóòótọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká wá sí UK pẹ̀lú visa no pẹ̀lú Nigerian passport ẹ jẹ́ ká wá sísàlẹ̀. Nọba lọ sí nọ́mbà U kí lórí bẹ́ẹ̀. Gbogbo ibi tó sọ pé 142 tó tán rẹ́ẹ̀dì yẹn gbogbo ìlú tó máa ní ìdí visa lọ nìyẹn. Gbogbo ìlú tó máa ní ìdí visa lọ títí dé Yemen, àwọn ará Yemen níta máa wá sọ́dọ̀ àwọn ibi tó yẹ pé ogun wà níbẹ̀. Zambia níta bá máa dọ́dọ̀ àwọn a ní ìdí e-visa. Zimbabwe níta bá máa wá sọ́dọ̀ àwọn a ní ìdí e-visa. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. Ìlú tí Dagboru media tó ń pariwo ní Turkey tó bá máa lọ síbẹ̀ ó máa ní di visa tọ́nà ò ti gba country fún yín tó ń ṣe nonsense and jagbajantis. Now ẹ jẹ́ ká wá lọ wo East Timor passport. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo passport dashboard. Number one, ó ti knock ti Nàìjíríà. Ta ló rí ntí mo rí níwájú mi? Ẹ wo red yẹn níbi tí ìsàlẹ̀, ẹ wo nọ́mbà yẹn, kí lẹ rí níbẹ̀? Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ type ẹ̀ sínú comment section. Mo fẹ́ mọ̀ bí àwọn èèyàn wà pẹ̀lú mi àbẹ́ ń sùn. Mo mọ̀ pé kíní koikimedia kíní ẹ̀ ó ń block a little bit. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n wò bí mo lè adjust interface yẹn. Ẹ jẹ́ n drop ẹ̀ padà sí 100. Now ó ti adjust there. Kí lẹ rí nísìn níbi tí ó tan red ìgbàlà yẹn, ìwọ tó bá ń lo smartphone gan ó gbọ́dọ̀ ranjú kó rí nǹkan tó wà ń bẹ̀. Mo fẹ́ kó kọ́ síta ni. After green, blue, red yẹn kí ló rí níbẹ̀? Nọ́mbà wo ló rí níbẹ̀? Ṣé wà pẹ̀lú mi àbẹ́ ń sùn? Nìkan wá náà ní Nigerian passport. Tó o bá mọ̀ jẹ́ n sọ fún ẹ 98 ìlú 98 ní passport wọn lè lọ wọ́n ní di visa àti agree bẹ́ẹ̀ àbí. But in Nigeria ìlú 142 ní ẹ lè lọ pẹ̀lú Nigerian passport. Now n tí mo fẹ́ mọ̀ nísìn ni pé ǹjẹ́ n tí mo sì máa ń sọ yẹn ǹjẹ́ mo sì ní fact ẹ̀. And I'm still right. Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kí n sọ̀rọ̀ tí mo ní evidence. Lọ sí UK kí ló rí lábẹ́ ti UK yẹn? As an East Timor pẹ̀lú passport wọn ó lè dé sí UK láàárọ̀ yìí without a visa fún 180 days. Ẹ ṣé gan Mr. Yuba Sanke ó ṣé gan ni. Bàbá wa Adéṣàn owó Balógun ní Nigerian passport index according to visa guide rank 189. Okay? So ó tẹ̀tún lọ sókè ju ìwé ìwé mi tún sọ lọ kátẹ̀sì fi sílẹ̀ pé 98 àbí kí ni mo ní mo rí lẹ́ǹkan. But kí ló dé tí British sọ fáwọn pé ká fi visa wọ UK? Ó tan red báyìí. Èmi náà fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn wá sí UK tó jẹ́ family mi but wọ́n ní fún wọn ní visa. But ọmọ East Timor òun lè wọ UK láàárọ̀ yìí ó kàn ní láti ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì ni kó dẹ̀ máa bọ̀. Tó bá dẹnu ọ̀nà wàá lù ní ó ní right láti wà nínú UK for 180 days. Ìlú tó ju 1.3 million lọ òun là ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ o. And èèyàn kan dẹ̀ máa sọ fún mi pé ìtí mo á gíò fún pé mo fẹ́ Yorùbá nation pé kò make sense pé ká wà ní Nàìjíríà torí pé ṣé Bọ́lá Tinubu máa jẹ́ kí UK fún wa ní visa tó bá tẹ̀lé ṣe yẹn ìlú mi àti ẹ̀dùn kí tẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ mú àwọn èèyàn tèmi kíákíá kó torí pé ó máa kúrò lórí ìjọba. Tí Tinubu bá lè bá British government sọ̀rọ̀ pé àwa Nigerians wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ká wọlé síbí báyìí torí pé ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni as a Commonwealth citizen. Ṣé argument ṣe ń get message yẹn? But as many of you now do not want to go through the line of the East Timor, tó fi gba independent ẹja tó gbọ́n tí professor sọ níbí báyìí.
Now the dispute arose, the matter was referred to the permanent
Castle Studio,
which set the final.
Ẹ lọ subscribe to the channel. A máa fi gbogbo London wò
Although
ní
the
ìlú náà ṣe
territory
fi
was
London.
occupied by Japan during the Second World War, it was returned to Portuguese control at the end of the conflict. However, and crucially, while the Dutch
wọ́n pín ní yẹ́lẹyẹ̀lẹ. I'm not going to use too much of this video for now. Let's move away from there because ibi tí mo ṣe lọ́mọ ti débẹ̀. At least àti ní understanding bó ṣe gba independence wọn. But ta ló facilitate independence yẹn? Òun ni ibi tí a fẹ́ rí lò. Ẹ mọ̀ pé everything in life èèyàn kan máa facilitate ẹ̀. Kò guarantee pé Tinubu máa ṣe, but we hope he can think of that. Mo kí bàbá wa dé Túnjí Jackson. Mo fẹ́ lọ mú ibi tí ọ̀rọ̀ East Timor fi di pé wọ́n lọ ṣe referendum. Ibi tí mo ti fẹ́ tún nọ́ọ̀kì Dagboru woman tó ń sọ jágbàjàgbà. So now mo ti ẹjẹ close àwọn kìíní kó má lọ àti mọ ibi tí East Timor dé ní passport index wọn mo ṣe lè fi yẹn lẹ̀ ẹja close eléyìí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká bọ́ síbí báyìí. Now that wo video èmi á kàn máa ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ lọ nísìn and I might be jumping in between because ibi tí mo fi lò gangan ni mo kàn máa lò. I need láti go back to the history. So ìtàpé need nísìn ni pé resistance continue throughout Indonesia rule and in 1999 in 1999 ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ kan ṣẹlẹ̀ nílùú wọn tó ń pè ní United Nations sponsor. The United Nations Transitional Administration in East Timor was a United Nations mission in the East Timor that aimed to solve the decade-long East Timorese crisis. Àwọn ò sí nínú crisis, so United Nations ò ní wá sísàlẹ̀. Mo kí ẹ jàre Jackson láti Istanbul, kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ. Nigeria does not have any value. Níbo ló ti fẹ́ rí value? Ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ gbọ́ bíbá. Mo ti ṣí ní full page. Wọ́n ń pè nǹkan kan ní United Nations Transitional Administration in East Timor. United Nations ò lè wá sínú Nàìjíríà láti wá ṣe transitional administration between the federal government and Biafra, between the federal government and the Yoruba, between the federal government and whoever wants to dissolve or break away from Nigeria, because we are not yet in any crisis. So let me give you the background of how East Timor. The United Nations Transitional Administration in the East Timor was a United Nations mission in East Timor that aimed to solve the decade-long East Timorese crisis in the area occupied by Indonesian military. The United Nations Transitional Administration in East Timor provided an interim civil administration and a peacekeeping mission in the territory of the East Timor from its establishment on the 25th of October 1999 until its independence on the 20th of May 2000. Tá bá wà ní crisis ní United Nations máa sọ̀kalẹ̀ tó máa wá bá wa ṣe transitional way tá máa fi kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Tá a bá ti sí ní crisis, that literally means that a máa continue láti bá Tinubu government sọ̀rọ̀ títí tá máa fi sọ pé àsìkò tó. Let's go further. The Transitional Administration was established by the core United Nations Security Council resolution. Ẹ má máa ṣe bí òmùgọ̀. Èèyàn kọ́kọ́ dé ó fi Jésù gba Yorùbá nation fún yín. Lọ́nà wo kò sí resolution kò sí nǹkan kan. Ó wá ń sọ fún yín pé òun kan lẹ́tà sí ẹ̀mí mímọ́ ló máa fún òun ní Yorùbá nation. One bastard. There was always what they call resolution. Resolution mo máa ń sọ fún yín. There was what they call 1514 United Nations resolution. Kò sí bí a ṣe fẹ́ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n máa deliberate at some point. Àwọn tó ń pè ní Security Council. You can't just say you want a country without the Security Council. So ṣé Security Council máa sọ fún wa pé a ti kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà? Kò dẹ̀ ní sí any evidence base of that ní 2023. Eléyìí tí mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, gbogbo eléyìí tí mò ń sọ yìí ní 1999, that's 24 years ago. Now kíyàn kan wá máa sọ fún wa ní 2023 pé ẹ imagine pé technology ò tí pọ̀ because mo rántí pé 98 èmi dé lù yìí, mo mọ̀ ìgbà tá a bá fẹ́ pe Nàìjíríà, ó máa lọ sórí BT wàá máa ju coins sínú ẹ̀ àbí kó ra àwọn scratch card ọlọ́run mọ̀ tí ìkọ̀kan wa ná láti fi scratch card tàbí bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ ó tó di pé technology improve. Right now all you need is just a smartphone. Kò bá jẹ́ tọ́nà sọ́bẹ̀ kékeré tó bá ti lè download WhatsApp wàá dẹ̀ ra íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì sí o kàn make call ó dẹ̀ lómi àmà pèèyàn nínú fídíò àmọ̀ bí a ní wòwò lẹ́wọ̀ àtẹ́fẹ́ báyọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ tí all this is why we are saying that Baba Akintoye understand kí gbogbo eléyìí pé àìtí dé crisis. We will continue to push for diplomacy. We will continue to push for negotiation, consultation, and dialogue. So when somebody is saying that at that country, òun lọ́lọ́run fún ní template yẹn, òun nìkan lòun ní template yẹn lọ́wọ́, ṣé kò ní go through Security Council tó jẹ́ ti United Nations? So ṣé Security Council ti wá di in tí wọ́n bá dúpẹ́ onítìrí virus woman, òun nìkan ló ń bá sọ̀rọ̀. So wọ́n ní bá communicating tó ń sọ pẹ̀lú other people around the world. Even gbogbo ilé tí mo sọ yìí ó wà properly documented even before technology, because all you need to do is as at that time kó tó di pé gbogbo ẹ̀ wà lórí Wikipedia nísìnyí wàá kọ́ lọ síbi tó ti máa lè extract information yẹn. Ó wá ń sọ fún yín pé òun ti gba country, ẹ̀yin tí ó ń sọ fún ẹ̀yin fúnra ara yín gan ẹ̀ lè extract anywhere níbi tó ti sọ fún òun ti gba country yẹn apart from pé ó declare lórí Black Goat lórí YouTube. So how did we get to this? Yes, ìyá mi unit owó ta ná sí payphone bíìtì ó dẹ̀ máa jẹ́ ni tó ìgbà míì wàá pẹ̀lú bíbà ọ̀ ní gbọ́n nǹkan tó ń sọ but adúpẹ́ fún technology adúpẹ́ fún Telegram adúpẹ́ fún WhatsApp group kò sí gbogbo yẹn tẹ́lẹ̀ so ẹ jẹ́ ká ka díẹ̀ nípa the United Nations Security Council resolution ṣe rí kí ni wọ́n pè ní resolution ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ wo meaning ẹ̀ kó lè yé dáadáa tá bá ní resolution again ìpàdé wo ni Dúpẹ́ ti jókòó pẹ̀lú àwọn Security Council tó fi mú resolution fóun ti gba country kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà tí ìjìnlẹ̀ gbogbo wọn tọ́jọ́ ń jókòó tó wá náà fẹ́ ṣe ìjọba adélé ìyẹ́ o from where to where and gullible Nigerians especially Yoruba tá ló fẹ́ ẹni làkàyè èyí wà lọ ń jókòó ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ so níbo ló ti jókòó ṣe resolution yẹn kí ni meaning ni tá bá ní ṣé Dúpẹ́ ti gba resolution lọ́wọ́ United Nations ó wá tọ́jú ẹ̀ pamọ́ sínú kọ́ńbọ́ọ̀dù ẹ̀ òun nìkan ló wá rí ó wá email ẹ̀ sí Ìjìnlẹ̀ Ìjìnlẹ̀ wá fi ń ṣe program à ń raise owó a fẹ́ gba ìjọba délé fẹ́ dé tán Jésù Kristi are we mad people? Resolution means that a firm decision to do or not to do something. She kept a resolution not to see Annie. Èèyàn lè decide pé òun lọ sí London. Àti gba document ilẹ̀ gan ní Lagos State. Ó máa difficult ká má ti sọ pé o fẹ́ gba resolution tí wọ́n jókòó ní round table láti discuss issue yẹn. So you can now understand that ẹ̀yin gullible tẹ̀tẹ̀lé wọn ní tó ń pè ní understanding ẹni tó lè fún yín ní copy DHL receipt tó fi send letter sí Buhari. Now báwo ló ṣe ń lo resolution? Mo ń bọ̀ tá bá ní resolution àyìnbá tá ti mọ meaning ẹ̀.
Resolution.
What is a simple definition of resolution? It is the act of finding an answer to the Yoruba nation struggle, the act of finding a solution to the conflict and problem between us and the federal government that will be discussed on the Security Council of the United Nations, just as it was done in Resolution 1272. Tí bá dẹ̀ type in Resolution 1272, tí bá gbé lọ sórí Google ní sí, ó máa gbé kankan jáde. Ṣẹ́ni pé ó gbé jáde lábẹ́ kí ló gbé jáde lábẹ́ ibi tí wọ́n ń pè ní digital library ẹ ti mú gbóyó gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ ń tẹ̀lé Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì ẹ ti wà lábẹ́ cocaine ẹ ti smoke cocaine because United Nations digital library lélẹ̀ nísìn tó wà níwájú mi ó fún mi ní this information ó wà ní France ó wà lédè Faransé ó wà ní Portuguese ó wà ní Espanyol ó wà ní èdè Lárúbáwá ó wà lédè Chinese ó tún wà lédè mọ̀mọ́lé àti order so that means pé èyí tó bá wá fẹ́ kà níbẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ ka ti English born bastard ní gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ǹtẹ̀ ẹ ní understanding rárá ẹ dẹ̀ bí accept ẹ fẹ́ máa live in denial ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣe resolution yẹn officially ẹ mọ̀ pé orí Wikipedia láti wò látẹ̀ nǹkan ẹ wá wò nísìn officially in terms of ẹni kí Dúpẹ́ fún yín ní irú lẹ́tà báyìí tó ní logo United Nations tó dẹ̀ ní reference because ó gbọ́dọ̀ ní reference number. Are we stupid people? How did we get to this stage? And let me expand it a little bit. 4 pages, no ni, but only so many important information tí anybody lè mú lọ sí anywhere. Pé ìjó kankan wà ó, mo lè print eléyìí nísìn kí n mú lọ sí anywhere pé ní ìjó kan wà ní on the 25th of October. Ṣé ń rí gbogbo kìíní ẹ̀ dáadáa? Mo ti bá yín fẹ̀ sójú. Number 1, lókè ó sọ pé United Nations. Wọ́n bíbá bá ńlá Dúpẹ́ dá kó lọ ṣe duplicate Olúwọlé kó wá sọ pé United Nations ni. Ó fẹ́ òun gan fẹ́ ran rẹ̀ pé ó fẹ́ dẹ́ntí tápò màmá wá káàkiri nìyẹn. Wọ́n kọ́ tọ́kọ síbẹ̀ wọ́n kọ Security Council. Mo mọ meaning DISTR yẹn general but nísàlẹ̀ èyí tó kù ó mean kankan Resolution 1272 ìpàdé yẹn wáyé ní 25th of October 1999. Nígbà tí technology ogun ẹ̀ ti wáyé ó dẹ̀ ti wà lábẹ́ digital format United Nations. Ẹ jẹ́ ká type in Yoruba Nation bí a máa rí kankan tó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ Yoruba Nation olórí burúkú somebody.
kí ló gbé jáde ẹ̀ka tó ní fi ọ̀rọ̀ tó lọ tó ìlú láti ìwà àdáhùn kí lè lè tọkọ ẹ̀. Let's open it up. I pity a lot of you. And this was in 1945 also. Máì tí dùnnú kankan. Eléyìí tí mo fẹ́ ṣì 1945 ni o. So máì tí dùnnú pé àdóhùn náà ni òmùgọ̀. Contains the Charter of the United Nations in 1945. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n lọ ṣe translation ní eléyìí nbọ̀. Ṣẹ́rẹ́ ẹ̀yin Yorùbá ẹ máa gbọ́ràn sẹ́ lórí Koiki Media. Ẹ wò nǹkan tó kọ 1995 lélẹ̀. Kí ló dé tí kò fún mi ní download ẹ̀ PDF founder PDF. So how come tí Yorùbá Nation ò jáde nísìn? In tí mò ń kà lọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan òun ni mo wá síwáyé òun lélẹ̀. Kí lẹ rí níbẹ̀? United Nations Library ìwé àdéhùn àjọ orílẹ̀-èdè July 1st 1995 àjọ orílẹ̀-èdè àgbáyé Yorùbá dẹ̀ lọ fi kọ ilé United Nations produced by United Nations Information Center Nigeria in commemoration of the 15th anniversary of the signing of the Charter of United Nations. Translation into Yoruba by Deji Ajikobi. So what translate the láti English? Produced in 1995. So how did we get to where somebody is now saying Ògúnbá United? Ṣẹ́rí pé níṣẹ́ ilé náà tún ní just translation lásán lélẹ̀. Kò sí kódà kò ilé ò ní stamp United Nations lára. Because kò ń ṣe resolution as far as I can see it. Òun lélẹ̀ ìtajọ́ ń wò yìí. Ẹ compare pẹ̀lú eléyìí tí mo fi wọ̀nyí nísìn. Ẹ ti rí yàtọ̀. Because ìjókòó eléyìí ó ṣe pàtàkì fún Security Council nítorí pé nínú ibẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti make a decision kan tí ìlú kan fi jáde lẹ́nu. How long have we got left? 2 hours 60 minutes so far. Okay, we're doing very well. Now, à ń padà bọ̀ sí ti Yorùbá yẹn but ẹ jẹ́ ká complete meaning ni resolution. Tá a bá sọ pé resolution. It is the act of finding an answer. Ìdáhùn sí nǹkan kan tí ó ń rú wa lójú. A fẹ́ find the solution sí in tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà to a conflict or problem. Àwọn ò tí wà nínú conflict but a ti wà nínú problem. And until we come out of that problem, we are going nowhere. Nigeria is the Titanic tó ti sink. Òun ló wà lẹ́yìn mi yẹn. Ọkọ̀ tó ń wò lẹ́yìn mi yẹn ló ń pè ní Titanic. Èní ni 20th of June 2023. Aago kan ó kọjá ìṣẹ́jú mẹ́wàá. So now that we have the meaning of resolution, I can come back to. Let me close this because I don't want this program to try and have any interference. Now, àti mọ̀ meaning resolution. So, resolution 1272 1999 open and close bracket. Tó bá wá sọ pé nǹkan wà adopted, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ meaning adopted. Níbo ni wọ́n ti adopt country tí Dúpẹ́ sọ fún yín kóhun ti gbà? Adopted. A-D-O-P adopted. Tá bá sọ pé adopt. Àwọn kan á máa adopt ọmọ for a reason known to them. Past tense ni wọ́n pè ní adopted. Past participle is adopted. Mú kí àtọ́ bí mi lọ́mọ. Legally take and bring it up as his own. Choose to take up or follow. And when we now ask, what do you mean by adopted? Of a child legally made the son or daughter of someone other than a biological parent. He introduced us to his adopted daughter, use or choosing in a place or in preference to an original. So now that we know the meaning of adopted, we come back again to this. No, this one, no. Now let's read quickly. The Security Council, recalling his previous resolution tí wáyé láti 1975, they had a resolution 384. Recalling his previous resolutions, the statement of his president on the situation in East Timor, in particular Resolution 384 of 1975 of 22nd of December 1975, Resolution 389 of 1976 of 25th of April 1976, Resolution 1236 of 1999 of 7th of May 1999, Resolution 1246 of 1999 of 11th of June 1999, Resolution 1262 of 1999 of 27th of August 1999, and the Resolution 1264 of 1999 of 15th of September 1999. Recalling also the agreement between the Indonesia and Portugal on the question of the East Timor of the 5th of May 1999, and the agreement between the United Nations and the government of Indonesia and Portugal of the same date regarding the modality for the popular consultation of the East Timorese through a direct ballot and security arrangement S/199/513 Annex 1 to 1 to 3. Reiterating, it is welcome for the successful conduct of a popular consultation of the East Timorese people of the 30th of August 1999, and taking note of its outcome, through which the East Timorese people expressed their clear wish to begin a process of transition under the authority of the United Nations towards independence. So, I think our stage anything, and everybody is saying Atiba country, and I don't know how those country was gotten, because as far as I'm concerned, we don't have a country, but we are asking our quest for the country. Which it regard as an accurate, now, consultation of the East Timorese last 30th of August 1999, and taking note of its outcome, through which the East Timorese, our Timorese people, expressed their clear wish to begin the process of transition under the authority of the United Nations towards independence, which it regard as an accurate reflection of the views of the East Timorese people. Welcoming the decision of the Indonesian People's Consultative Assembly on the 19th of October 1999 concerning East Timor, stressing the importance of reconciliation among the East Timorese people, commending the United Nations mission in East Timor for the admirable courage, determination shown in the implementation of its mandate, welcoming the deployment of a multinational force to East Timor pursuant to Resolution 1264 of 1999, and recognizing the importance of the continued cooperation between the government of Indonesia and the multinational force in this regard. Noting the report of the Secretary General Kofi Annan of the 4th of October 1999, noting with the satisfaction the successful outcome of the trilateral meeting held on the 20th of September 1999, as outlined in the report of the Secretary General, deeply concerned by the grave humanitarian situation resulting from the violence in the East Timor and the large-scale displacement and relocation of the East Timorese civilians, including the large numbers of women and children, reaffirming the need for all the parties to ensure that the rights of the refugees and the displaced persons are protected and are able to return voluntarily in a safety and security to their homes, reaffirming respect for the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of the Indonesia, noting the importance of ensuring the security of the boundaries of the East Timor, and noting in this regard the express intention of the Indonesian authority to cooperate with the multinational force deployed pursuant to the Resolution 1264. Àwọn tí ní resolution kankan, àìtí ní anything, èèyàn kankan dé láàárọ̀ ọjọ́ kan, ó dẹ̀ ní ẹ̀mí mímọ́ ti gba country, àti declare ní Èkìtì, àti declare l'Óṣogbo, àti declare ní Lagos, àti ń ṣe menstruation, àti ń ṣe occupation, àti ń ṣe reflection. Are we not crazy people? For those of you that are listening to that nonsense, ní 2023. Ẹ wo details tí mò ń kà jáde nísìnyí, tí mo bá tẹ̀ kà kankan mọ́. You can see all the details in to make a decision lele tí a fi sọ pé resolution ó jáde. Now let's go one step back again. Ibi tó kù tí mo fẹ́ mú jáde fún yín ni pé there was a president to facilitate this referendum tó fi di pé wáyé. Ìyẹn Indonesia president. Mo fi wá bẹ́ẹ̀ jáde. Let's go back here. Once again, a very good afternoon and welcome to the live transmission. The economy of East Timor is a low-income economy and is ranked by the World Bank. It is placed 133 on the Human Development Index. Àtẹ̀ní gbogbo yẹn. Nígbà tó bá ti destroy ìlú kan, ó máa take away àkọ́ tó gbérí náà. Mbọ̀. Mo fẹ́ lọ wá orúkọ President Indonesia to facilitate ọ̀nà àkíbà ẹni màtìrì. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kàbí by there. Indonesia occupation. Indonesia ló occupy East Timor yẹn from 1975 títí di 1999 tí resolution fi jáde. Okay? No, kò ń ṣe ti eléyìí. Mo mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ jẹ́ so 1995 lélẹ̀. But resolution tá wò lọ ní bíbá tó fi dé bíbá. Franklin resisted the invasion. Àwọn ní tán pè ní jọ́nà lọ́hùn. Wọ́n ní tán pè ní the Revolutionary Front for the Independent East Timor. Wọ́n ní ìbọn, wọ́n ní gbogbo ẹ̀. Wọ́n máa ń bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jà gan. They presently hold 23rd of the 65 seats in the National Parliament. Franklin formed the government in East Timor until their independence in 2002. Reconciliation ti wáyé, ikú wáyé, this and that. Following the resignation of the Indonesian president, ibi tí mo fẹ́ lò gangan ni mo ti wáyé. Arákùnrin tó fi ara ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ tí ìlú yẹn fi jábọ́ òun ni bọ̀bọ́ yìí. We hope Tinubu will do the needful. If not, it will be a disaster in the long run. But Bachurudun Joseph Abibi was born on the 25th of June 1936. He died on the 11th of September 2019. Was an Indonesian engineer and politician who was the third president of Indonesia from 1998 to 1999. Less than 3 months after his inauguration as the 7th vice president in March 1998, he succeeded Suharto, who resigned after 32 years in office. His presidency was seen as a landmark and transition to Reformation era. Kí ló ń pè ní Reformation era yẹn? Ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣí ibẹ̀. The Indonesian Reformation is the contemporary history in Indonesia which began with the resignation of the authoritarian president Suharto tó wà níbẹ̀ láti 32 years on the 21st of May 1998. Since his resignation, the country has been in a period of transition known as a reform era. Indonesian era reformers. This period has been characterized by a more open political social environment, grassroots economic improvement. Issues over this period have included a push for a stronger democracy, a civilian rule element of a military trying to retain their influence, a growing Islamist in politics and society, and demand for greater regional autonomy. The process of reformers was resulted in a higher degree of freedom of speech, in contrast to the pervasive censorship under the New Order. This has led to a more open political debate in the news media and increased expression in the art. Events that have shaped Indonesia in this period include gbogbo tí mo ti kà látẹ̀ kan ẹ má wọrí nípa ẹ̀ eléyìí tí mo fẹ́ kà nìkan ní kẹgbọ́. The event to shape Indonesia in this period include the independence of the Timor Leste tàpọ̀ ní East Timor. Bàbá tó jẹ́ kó wáyé òun ni arákùnrin máa nìyí. Máa tẹ̀ ń wò yìí tó ń pè ní BG Abibi. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ ṣe Google search lé lórí. Arákùnrin tẹ̀ ń wò yìí òun ló fa ìrìn àjò tí East Timor fi di ẹni tó nílùú lẹ́nu, because nígbà tí tó wà ń bẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀, because mo fẹ́ wind it down nísìnyí, nígbà tí tó wà ń bẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ tó ní òun nígbà tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí bá àwọn East Timor jà, àwọn náà bá jà wọ́n jà títí for 30 years. Gbàrà tí yẹn lọ bá ìtẹ́lẹ̀ dé ilé ìbá ṣe reform pé no nǹkan lè máa lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Òun ló jẹ́ kí àwọn East Timor ní country tí wọ́n lẹ́nu. And I'm sure, let's see what is written about him in the news. BG Abibi, Indonesian leader whose short tenure was marked by a shift to greater democracy. Mo sọ fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá pé Tinubu ni last card yìí. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń ṣe politics ni mo mí nù. Tó bá fail láti ṣe the needful fún yín. Oh my God. Bọ́lá Tinubu, ẹ jẹ́ n gbójú ẹ̀ síta kẹrin. Tí Tinubu bá fail, tí a gbàdúrà pé kó fail láti jẹ́ kí olúkálukú máa lọ nílùú ẹ̀, hey, history will never forget him, and history will never forgive him as well. That's all I will say. So I've given you how East Timor got their independence through this man. Though he was a president of Indonesia for just 512 days. 512 days. But Bachurudun Joseph Abibi, who has died at the age of 83, had an impact considered to be far out of proportion to the brevity of his tenure, marking as it did the beginning of a more liberal era in his country's history, with a move towards democracy after General Suharto 30 years in power. I pray Tinubu will do the needful. That's all I can say. At 2 hours, 32 minutes into the conversation. I'm now going to come back out of these. Take a phone line, can open títí di half an hour. Nàwárí tó fẹ́ dá sí. Bọ̀kọ̀ ṣe pé bàtí bá ní mo ti fẹ́ máa lọ ní call máa wọlé mo nígbè o. Mo ti fún ní preference ní pé kẹ́yìn náà dá sí. So I've opened the phone line for half an hour for anyone that wants to have something to say on that presentation. The number is +44 74 04 405917. Let's go and take the first caller quickly. Hello, caller. You're live on the Koiki Media program.
Hello, Koiki.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sir.
You trust me?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
The Lord bless you.
Amen.
The Lord bless you.
Amen.
In fact, one for where you are doing all these things. I continue to appreciate that mama who gave you this foundation of moral, of law for your people. Because in your game, anywhere, it became the source of the individual will determine the character you are going to bring out. So, one thing I just want to say here is this. We are marching, you are pushing us away from the primitive ways that we have been following before. But they appreciate our other media come our wave toward this end. I want to make Dupe succeeded because that was the mission he came from. So so, but my question now, I want to go platform here. Are they not ready to change? Look at this analysis. This one alone. Irú àwọn alákìíyẹ tó ń ṣẹnu kiri tó bá lè kó gbé ilé ìjáde kó pe bàbá. Pé bàbá, let us listen to this thing. Nígbà tó bá ń gbafẹ́. Let's listen to this thing. Ó rò pé tó bá gbọ́ òun kan ní change of mind. That is if we continue there. To me, that is he's still president on court now. Now, what the analysis there is an eye-opener. Even despite the fact we have done many. But this one is just like our case. It's not how long you are on throne that matter, but that which you have done. Yes, he's doing firefighting, defensive actions now. We identify it as defensive action. Because I personally, I don't trust any politician. When Buhari came in, he quickly do something, like 3 months. He put on some things, and everybody was just praising him. As I think Lady Kate's line. I said it is too early to praise this man. It is too early because there is nothing. Those should come out. He's taking action that has never produced anything until we continue to see the action in the impact of the people. So, but if I know God can use anybody, our ways is quite different from God's ways. He called out to Moses that you are leading people to the promised land. Only Joshua. So God can change over. Paul was a radical person, killing people, but he got a time God changed him. So God can use him to do whatever he wants to do. Even under 3 months, he can change everything. Don't you mind that people are against it and they call to everything. He wants to do. He has the power now. Like the Obasanjo has it there and fail. Our prayer to him is that he's not going to fail. It doesn't matter how long. In fact, because he doesn't know what is going to come out in the court. I do that the letter was sensitive to, which I am very conversant with all those old history. He said, "But about the president." That was the ambition. It doesn't matter how long. What he achieved now. He wants to be M of Abia. He said, "If 3 days, to what he achieved." Because all of that's around the cabinet, so for him now to do something so that he will have a reward and a remarkable history, and this man, he should continue to, as he continue to do this, man, continue to pave way for the referendum or the negotiation or whatever. Go make your way. Now I am the most. Let me carry my people out, or I am Joshua. Let me go take my people to the promised land. To go watch in Yoruba land. Continue the Yoruba land. This is going to be very simple. Everybody will rally around him and we will praise him. I pray God will give him the grace. My brother, the Lord will continue to increase your knowledge.
Amen.
God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Security Council is the key backbone of anything. We still have about 20 minutes for anyone that wants to add 1 or 2 input as we speak right now, not after we have ended the program. But like I said, I will still be doing more of the United Nations resolution, what it means, how we have to continue to foster. Well, like I said, I can take note until 500 and how many days last just under 600 days ni máa yẹn fi change nǹkan òun gan kò pẹ́ láyé. I mean, ó pẹ́ láyé, but in terms of the age tó kú, we will have loved that Indonesian president. Gbogbo tó fi resolve gbogbo problem tí Indonesian face for over 30 years. He was able to sort it out in 564 days, less than 600 days. This can also happen with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He can do it if he wants to. If he wants to drive this, that narrative, it's entirely up to him. Osentole Dimu, he has taken the realms of affairs. He can push it to wherever he wants to push it to. The worst case scenario is he has now a better opportunity to make sure that now could work. But we can only wait and see. It is too early to call any shot. What we should be focusing on now is continue engagement, continue dialogue, continue education and awareness. We are not fighting the federal government. Former President Muhammadu Buhari and his contingent on the way to the mosque in London after fleeing Nigeria to ó dà kí máa lọ síbẹ̀ níjọ́ Friday o, because definitely wọ́n máa ń wá síbẹ̀ wá kírun. Ẹni tó ya picture yóò ya picture dáadáa kálí lè kẹ́. Former President Muhammadu Buhari and his contingent on the way to mosque in London after fleeing Nigeria to the UK in Dangote private jet as the pressure mount to arrest the nephew Tunde Sabiu. Ṣé Buhari ṣì wà ní London? Ṣé Buhari lélẹ̀? Ṣé bàbá Anisha? Ẹ jẹ́ mú picture wa. Mo wò lórí Sahara nísìn. Ṣé bàbá láti sá kúrò ní Nàìjíríà kẹ̀? Mo rò wọ́n náà lọ sí mo ń bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ mú image wa. Òun lélẹ̀. Ó rà pé òun ló wà ní ọ̀kan yẹn. Buhari ni. Ṣé bàbá òun ló ń lọ yẹn? Kódà àjọpàdé. Seemed like a common man on the street of London. Ṣé wọ́n capture video náà ni? Níbọ̀.
You're right. Nice to see you. How are you? Yeah, not bad, not bad. Yes, thank you. Don't tell me you're on your bike today. You are? You know how terrible it is out there? Yeah?
Àwọn tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ náà nípa ọmọ fídíò.
It's going to be much better. It's going to be much better.
Oh, kìnìlélẹ́ òkè Boris Johnson ní. Boris Johnson ló wọ́n fìlà bíi ti Koiki báyìí.
Yeah? That's what you've been saying for a few years.
Ẹ wo former prime minister Abosi. Ẹ wo Boris. Boris ni ẹ. Bí àwọn òkúta ló ń ṣó yìí.
You know how terrible it is out there?
Okay.
Yeah? What's going on with the traffic?
But Buhari lè ṣá. Buhari ló ń lọ lọ́nkàn yẹn. Ọ̀ṣẹ́ o. Anyway, já fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ ká wá padà sí. We're almost ending the program in 15 minutes. So the most important thing for us is Mr. Park, thank you so much. He just arrived yesterday to escape his nephew from being arrested. Wọ́n máa arrested ẹ ṣe gan ni ìyá mi Janet. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ arrest nephew yẹn. Mo sì máa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí nephew yẹn fáwọn tí wọ́n mọ nephew Buhari yẹn. Gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì Buhari ó bà wọ́n jẹ́ gan-an. Seriously tó ń ṣe kékeré. But Elédùmarè á kó wa yọ nínú ẹ̀. So Ben is a shameless president, very, very shameless. Oh God, you. The vice president, Shetima, decorates. Okay, they can pay one. At least I'm Yoruba, then see one Ben is saying. Kato Malononi. 15 minutes, I'm a programming. Oh God, you. Ew. Amati, oh yeah, Berry Joe, Berry, Shetima. Oh yeah, Justin the vice president. NTA náà máa ti ń sáré gidi kẹ. Wọ́n ti ń compete pẹ̀lú àwọn tó kù. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ̀ sáré wo ìlànà náà tún fún wọn ní ráìsì so kí ló tó wà ń bẹ̀ ọ̀yà Tinubu ti lọ ó dàbọ̀ ó dà so that's about it anyway. Yeah. So anyway, so let's remain absolute firm. We are on the right track. 564 days ní ìjọba kan ló fi parí gbogbo tí ó ń disturb fún 30 years. Gbogbo tó ń disturb ọmọ Yorùbá for this long can be resolved if they have the good intention. Time will tell. History will remember every one of us. That's all I can say. Let's just play our music of IGBOHO and then we start winding down the program. And another one is the other one that we normally want to. Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Olóyè Dr. Sunday Igboho, adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Bàbá Akíntóyè, Chief Banji Ayilóge, gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ YSDM àti gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ pátápátá àti ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀yin ṣiṣẹ́ left and right for the project of Yoruba Nation. Without appreciating every one of you, it's been back to back as usual, but we know that it's not easy, especially for those of you at home, burning a lot of internet data to be able to watch and listen to us from your different bays as well. This is the third program of the day, so there's a lot to catch up. There's other media that are running different programs. We always look at what we want to talk about. We just don't talk about anything, especially this platform is not for fracas, but it's to highlight especially the damage of somebody like Dupont Thierry, which we are cutting down anyway, but it is important that we just highlight it. Kudos to every Yoruba sons and daughters that want a better life. Fair situation of the mama toro. That's all I can say. Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin volunteers wa, adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin supporters wa, prayer, words of encouragement, Koiki, má give up, Koiki, just continue. Even Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀, ẹ wo, ó push. Eventually, ó di president. So, ẹ káwa náà máa ṣe kí ni, ká máa push níjọ́ kan. Tiwa náà máa ṣe kí ni a wá sí ìmúṣẹ láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà kó má pẹ́ là ń gbàdúrà ogun òní kó wa lọ wọ́ọ̀dẹ̀ ní fi ẹ̀jẹ̀ wa fọ Nàìjíríà tó máa fi lọ gbogbo ẹ̀ tẹ́ ń sọ pé there will be a new Nigeria ìrọ̀lẹ́ pa kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń jẹ́ new Nigeria ẹ má tan anybody a máa bá yín argue yẹn látòkè délẹ̀ there is nothing called new Nigeria. Nigeria is gone. So don't let anybody fool you that in Kokowa don't play the new Nigeria. Thank you to my back-end team. Thank you to my mother. Thank you to my father. Let's remain firm. Let's remain, yes, sometimes I won't come here to Tamaso to Mada, but distract the movement. Nyamba government if in terms of government, do the needful. Yes, first and foremost, Katokuro Nigeria. Yeah, we want people to live a better life. We want people to have a comfortable life. We don't want our people to suffer. We don't want people to be kidnapping our people and all sort. Like I said, this is not a platform for fracas. This is a policy, international diplomacy platform that takes you on a different level of the Yoruba Nation struggle. And on that note, once again, appreciation to every single one of you. Moki Pastor Mo, Moki Gugweyi Inyowa. Comrade Plan B, Buhari is not having much fault, but the docile Nigerian citizen. Thank you so much. I know the broadcast might be clicking because Muti upload on Kokon. So that on videos to Mumanshi, Mumante to download it. social media, so that I can keep it for my own future reference as well. Thank you so much. My name is OLAYOMI Koiki. Everybody call it koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. I gotta go now. Appreciation to every one of you. Before we go, let's just watch this 10 seconds. Call on phone, okay, to the Lokwe Arutile. Kọ́lọ́n fún ọ̀kẹ́ gbogbo àwọn tó ti kú nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, kọ́lọ́n dáríjì wọn kí ó tẹ́ wọn sí afẹ́fẹ́ rẹ̀, àti Jùmọ̀kẹ́ Oyèlékè, Bámiṣé, àbúrò wa tó pa nígbà rally, and so many people that have died, 29,000 according to Baba Akintoye nínú statement àsẹ́ǹsì Tinubu. Kọ́lọ́n fún ọ̀kẹ́ wọn gbogbo àtàkùn lórí ilẹ̀ ayé náà, kọ́lọ́n jẹ́ ká jẹ ayé yìí pẹ́ kọ́lọ́jọ́ tó dé. And on that note, thank you so much. Bye for now.
Ẹ fojú kó eruku ata abẹ́ ń bẹ eruku ata tí ò sí fojú kó bàbá wà gbogbo Nàìjíríà. Ẹ bá fojú kó ata ẹ lójú. Ọmọ
Oòduà. Ọ̀gá Fúlàní, ọ̀gá Fúlàní, ọ̀gá Fúlàní ló jẹ́ o. Yorùbá nation yìí ti gbogbo wa ni. Kó má gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́, torí kò sílùú mìíràn.
Life is so funny. You come with nothing, then fight for everything, and later leave everything and go back with empty hand. God is powerful.
Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Have a great afternoon and bye from this part of the globe.